Welcome back to the last relic. Hell yeah. Alright, we will get to my thoughts on bricks and minifigs and the Lego community, because I think not enough is being done right now. But we'll get to that. I actually did want to read. Some people sent me donations on whether it's a different stream or before. But give me a second here. Somebody on the Streamlabs side send me some donations. Freak. Yep. So on Streamlabs, from Mr. Mark Metzger, send me $10. Hope you get to have a job you love again someday. And thank you. I hope so as well. Don't know what it is. Like, I have ideas in my head, but I just want to have some freedom. You know what I mean? I think that's what everybody really wants. But thank you for the $10. That's awesome. Like any amount of money that is sent my way, like, I truly appreciate it. Thank you. And from my man Richard sent a $50 donation, and that is incredible. Thank you so much. It says, trust in Jesus, bro. Keep your head up. You're a rich man because you have a wonderful family, and my family is amazing, incredible, beautiful. Like, I get so much support from my wife to be able to do this, like, just talk on YouTube, hang out. And I know that she'd rather I go hang out with her, but she's like, hey, no, if you love YouTube, you believe in it and everything, then go do it. I'm like, you're just the freaking best. And yeah, but anyways, so few issues with the whole bricks and minifigs ordeal, and it's coming from the community side, like the Lego community. Shout out to Echo Base Network for being one of the channels to keeping the story alive. I think it's super important that again, we focus on Ben and Brian and this entire situation. It's not that the other things aren't important, that like YouTubers are going after more information about these people's past. I think it all has its place, but I think it could be lost in translation if you're not constantly pointing out how the things they're doing to Ben and Brian, and then the other store owners and things like that, because then it just becomes a different story. Like, now there's multiple stories instead of just all of them connecting to the same story. Like the whole thing with their father, and then suing their father, the McNeff suing their father, all that stuff. Like, at least tie it back in, because then it's just like more information that's not really, you're not connecting it back to Brian and Ben, because these guys' lives are on the line. Like, Ben is looking, like 20 years in prison isn't just a prison sentence. Like, that's losing your life. So whatever research that YouTubers are doing and everything, like, that's why I think CoffeeZilla's video is pretty incredible, because it's all tying back in. It stays in the pocket. He's trying to figure out what's the truth, what's going on, what's not making sense. Great. recklessben's videos, they're very much connected. Bricks and minifigs and this guy, and this is it. Like, these guys have a history of this, and this. This is why they stole. We don't really know their intentions, but like everything could be solved. Whatever. And there's a lot of YouTubers that are doing really good job of like keeping the story alive. Echo Base Network, the Lego Empire, I think he's doing a solid freaking job. But the Lego community themselves are not doing practically anything. They're doing almost nothing. The you'll see like multiple like top Lego YouTubers. Like go just look up Lego YouTubers, and most of them only did one video. They've only talked about it one time, and they've never touched on the topic ever again. And that's a massive problem for me, because it's just like originally this channel, I always tried to do movie reviews, TV reviews, stuff like that, and we still do it, and that's gonna be a lot of my main focus, and talking about toys and just pretty much, like I've always said, anything I want to talk about. But if your niche or your community is a very specific thing and there's a lot of negativity on it, you can't just brush it off and be like, I just want my channel to be only positive, only nice things, and then I'm gonna make a comment here or there like, I don't like this. That is such a coward's way out, to be like, oh yeah, I already talked about it and I'm gonna move on. Like, there's a responsibility you have once you get in. It's your job. You have a responsibility to point out that, like, hey, it ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Like, there's issues in that, and we have to point it out because people's lives are on the line at this point. You know, you can't just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna play with Legos forever and that's it. Like one thing I know about Lego YouTubers, their fans usually only look up Lego YouTubers. Like, they will only subscribe to Lego YouTubers. They won't have multiple different niches that they're looking at. You know, they're not looking for movie reviews. They're not looking. Trust me, the Lego community is such an interesting and unique community. Like, if you look at Harry Potter fans, you kind of get a lot of different people, like a lot, and very diverse in every sense of the word, right? Lego's kind of like that, but they don't ever do anything other than like actually watch the movies and build Lego. They won't do anything else. And Lego's extremely time consuming. So all their time is actually focused on Lego. It's pretty incredible. You know, like a lot of customers I had only collected Lego. Like, they didn't have action figures. They probably had some as a kid and they just focused on Lego, and that's it. It's pretty interesting. But I'll read some comments. Leia Bobega, did I say that right? Hey man, I found your channel through the drama. LOL, here's support. Heck yeah, thank you. A lot of people just about dishing the gossip. Unfortunately, people say Ben just wants clicks and views, but I would like to think otherwise. Like, dude, yeah, like, this story blew up, especially his channel. Like, when he put out the video, he only had like 400,000 subscribers, which is a lot of subscribers, and he doubled that or tripled it. I think he's at 1.4, right? 1.3, something like that. He's doing an awesome job on YouTube, but he's also not monetized on YouTube. Like, if you look at his past videos, like, YouTube does not like recklessben. That's why he's doing stuff on Patreon, and he doesn't have to face 20 years in prison. Like, he could have stopped doing these videos when he got served. He could have stopped putting things out when he got threats, you know, like, but he cared about getting this story out. You know, he's done a lot of freaking work, and this is why I've said before, like, a lot of people start asking, like, oh, this is the end of Bricks and Minifigs. It most likely isn't, because just because we're all informed does not mean everybody else is informed. Like, that's why the Lego community is so important, because people only look up their Lego channels that they like, and if everybody isn't like pointing this story out, then like, I would say at least half the customers of Bricks and Minifigs or any other Lego collector store, half their clientele is not gonna know about any scandal. Like, here's so that you guys can understand. My parents don't know about the recklessben scandal. They're on the internet. They're on YouTube. That my dad helped me build up the store. He was my commercial realtor. My mom helped paint the store. She would come in very often. They don't know about it. And I'm very well connected to this bull crap. not Reckless Ben himself, but like Bricks and Minifigs. I had a freaking store like this. This is people have lives, and they're not gonna be informed. So it's up to us to really point that out, and the Lego YouTubers specifically. Oh yeah, Dick Lonius Games, sick name. When this all started, you didn't see any of the large Lego YouTubers talk about this at all. Then the big ones made one video, and that's it. Yeah. Like again, I pointed this out. I reached out when this was happening to me. I reached out to so many YouTubers, all Lego YouTubers, because I have said this. I pointed this out before. I wanted to keep this in the community, and I thought it would make an impact talking to people who knew about Lego, right? I didn't know about the Reckless Ben situation and the situation in Oregon, but I'm like, hey, I'm going through the ringer right now, and you guys should know this about this company. Nobody wanted to touch it. Nobody. And I'm glad I'm able to put my story out there. Again, I'm going to shout out every time Echo Base Network. They gave me an opportunity to speak on it, and like I've spoken on my channel before, but again, I'm thankful for everybody who watched before, but it didn't blow up or anything because it was just my story, and I was very nice at the time talking about it. But yeah, no Lego YouTuber talked about it until it's like really made the rounds, like really blew up. You had more non-Lego YouTubers talking about this, especially the lawyer ones. Yeah, right now it's still the same case. Leah Bobia, okay. Since you asked, thank you. All right, I accept either. Okay, I don't correct people anymore because it's not a big deal. LOL. Well, if you have a channel, then I'll watch it, and then I'll pronounce it correctly. Hopefully, I pronounced it correctly. Leah Bobia. I said Leia because it's that's how you spell Leia from Star Wars. Yeah, Broken Cow 13. What's up? We're kind of our own little bubbles. Yeah, but that's why it's so important, because that's the community that really can make an impact, like overall. And just going back to some doing research on legal and financial and waiting for more court dates. Yeah, but you can also still put out videos of your opinion and your local Bricks and Minifigs, what you think about it, because I know you're still shopping. I know you're still going to local stores. You're vlogging. Like, come on. Like, this isn't like a situation where it's like you don't know where every little thing is happening. You're just being a pussy and not putting it out there. No, you have to do better content, sir. If something is not working, doing something else, don't keep the same videos. That don't get 1,000 views. Cheers. I'm just gonna make videos I like, and hopefully it works out. Okay, and then there was just a response. I will say I have seen LAN members speak up about. Also seems like LAN is also being restructured. And what does LAN mean? All LAN members must reapply for new Lego rule. From my understanding, see y'all later. I don't know what is like Lego associate stuff. The story's not dying. Okay, from Clunk 0.08, the story's not dying, just festering underneath, waiting for the next ridiculous attempt from BAM to explain themselves. Yeah, no. Maybe. You tracked that, Broken Cow? Okay. Yeah, for sure. I did a deep dive in the last 24 hours. I was on the panel Thursday and got asked my opinion, and I will admit I said likely it was a case of a YouTuber starting drama for Cliffs and Fafo. Don't know what that means. I don't know. Honestly, I would not risk going to jail for 20 years for clicks. That's just me. But I talked to him personally before Bricks and Minifigs contacted me and tried to sue me or threaten me with a lawsuit, a potential lawsuit, however the wording is. But he's like the genuine article. Like, he sounds exactly the same, acts exactly the same from the videos, and when you talk to him for like an hour, he's the same one. Again, I always say this, eu não coloco meu dedo no fogo. I don't put my finger to the fire. I don't know recklessben intimately. We haven't hung out, nothing like that. You know, like, I just had a conversation with him. But still, I do believe in my heart that he is doing the right thing, and he's a honest guy. But again, I did believe that before, so I guess my take might not be so important. I'm not the best judgment of all characters. I did really good about my wife, though. She is a perfect woman. Since I've been researching, I found out a lot of it to be so wild. 100% like the police corruption and saying, yeah, that is nuts. Like, he sent me the video before he put out on YouTube because I didn't have a Patreon, but it already had like 80,000 views. And man, when I watched it, I was like, this is insane. And I knew it was gonna some of the focus was gonna be shifted just because of certain things that were said in that video. I only know about the recklessben videos because I follow YouTube lawyers and they talk about it. Plus, Asmongold and Penguin Zero reactions. Yeah, I'm mod for EBN and I found you because of them. Hey, thank you, Zombie Box Reviews. And the previous one was Super AC Hero. Supak Hero? I don't know. My bad. That's awesome. Yeah, I deep dive for sure. LOL, I've wanted no less than 10 different channels, maybe 40 hours worth of content. Damn. I do have a channel getting back into the content again. I mostly do debates and things. I'm an pro-life advocate and activist, but I cover hot stories. Sometimes I'm definitely doing a video on. Awesome. Let me know if you ever want to debate me about something. That would be fun. Lego Ambassador Network. Gotcha. All right. That's what I kind of thought, like associate or something. You're talking about like YouTubers who have a contract with Lego to get like products early and stuff like that. This, if I could have my mind so distractedly changed, maybe I can help the other person change their mind too. Did I miss something? Doing a video on this. Oh, okay. This is just the second part. My bad. Cool. Is Bam still trying to threaten you? So luckily I haven't had any phone calls since the first two. And since I've been on Echo Base Network, and shout out to Camelot. He is awesome. That's a true brother right there. He's actually live streaming right now. He's a solid guy. He's talking about the one dude that went to jail situation, and then he's gonna talk about Halo soon. But yeah, he did talk about his opinion on bricks and minifigs and the latest news. But yeah, the holy crap, Lord Jorah, your profile pic kind of freaked me out a little bit, but awesome. Yeah, I haven't. Bam has not contacted me. I've had some people that are associated with Bam kind of contact me, but they let me know that they can't talk to me. Not that I reached out to them, but they let me know that, like, hey, I support you, but I can't officially support you because I guess Bam sent out some order to all bricks and minifigs owners that they can't really, if you still have a store, you can't like avoid media or something like that. I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that they did, but kind of feels that way. I would love to interview you. I'm a nobody, so I don't know if you would gain much attention from it. LOL, a lot of base folks follow me. I'm not trying to get attention. I'm really happy, and I'm super grateful that you guys have come on and followed me, and I can provide some entertainment. I want to provide content to you guys and all that, but I'm not looking to take away from the situation or to capitalize on it. I've had a lot of people that I didn't have a deep relationship with trying to like get on my channel and talk to me, and I'm like, dude, I don't freaking know you like that, and you have nothing to give to this situation. Like, I'm willing to go on anybody's channel and talk about this or just kick it and have some fun. That's fine. But like I'm not trying to like, my story, I believe, provided a light on the character of the people that are involved with recklessben. I think that's why I put it out there. That's why I was like, when I was offered to go on somebody's channel, because I didn't like comment and be like, hey, I have a story for you. Like, I just said, like, I own the store and these guys suck. That's pretty much it. And then they're like, hey, you want to come on channel? And then I told my story. And I'm glad that it's helped, like, it's helped people realize who these people are from somebody who like met these guys and worked with them. They suck. But don't say you're a nobody. You're somebody. You're somebody to me. You are part of the chat, and I would love to go on your channel and do whatever it is you want to talk about. Even if you don't want to talk about the bricks and minifigs situation, and you just want to talk, that's great with me. You know, like, and that's the other side of the whole Lego YouTuber thing. Like, I get it. You don't want to just make bricks and minifigs content. That's 100% fine. But if you're still like pumping out videos of like, these are the sets that are coming out in 2027, you know, this is what we should expect, blah 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 blah, but you're not like remembering, or at least putting out like even a short of like, man, this bricks and minifigs situation is crazy. Just that, like, you can't pretend like this is not happening, like it doesn't exist. So I'm not gonna do bricks and minifigs content forever. I'm gonna talk about it when people have questions, when it's on my mind, no problem. But like, I'm gonna do other things too. I'm gonna talk about cars. I love talking about cars. I'm gonna talk about, you know, movies and books and TV, and, you know, hanging out with my family, and whatever else pops into my mind, I'm gonna talk about it, and then just give you stories and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully I'm based. Leah, my bad. Lord Jero, yeah, this scandal is engrossing, and I think it speaks to the heart of the problems throughout all of life these days, not just Lego. Yeah, and that's the key. It's not just about Lego. It's about the little guy getting screwed. It's about people taking advantage of other people just because they either look down on them, or they could get away with something nefarious, and people losing integrity. Like, a lot of the things that are talked about, whether it's movies, whether it's the situation, it's like Hollywood losing integrity, and they're doing all this bullcrap, or this company owner is going after, you know, the little guy because like they just have this big ego. Like, it's about fighting that dragon. Like, people, like, this has been a situation that has been ongoing in various different fields, various different niches, and especially in the nerd sphere. Like, that's been constantly going on. So this is a way more important story than just Lego, but it's gonna have the most impact on freaking Lego. Yeah. Ann made goodies. What's up, Ann? Did you tell Bam to pound sand? I told him to suck it easy. I think that was more impactful. Bam may be too overwhelmed right now to even think about you. I think they can't come after me at this point, because again, I'm not a big fish for them, and I'm not saying anything that isn't true. I didn't sign anything. I didn't force recklessben to talk to me. He didn't force me to talk to him. They called me after I already talked to him. So my story is just my story shining a light on who they are. It isn't, I guess you could say, it isn't a direct hate on them or campaign against them. It's just the truth. But who knows? I could get a call at any moment. You know, I have my phone right here. Like they called me at like right before I was gonna go to bed. Like, me and my wife were watching a movie, and then I get that call, and I'm like, why the freak is this person calling me? They haven't talked to me since they screwed me over. Yeah. Gyro's so true. Literally have a place in my notes. Like, is it just me, or is this a metaphor for life? Oh well, yeah. I am just glad that your story is being told. You being hurt sucks, and that it shows a pattern of behavior for everyone to see is great, dude. You have no idea the stress I went through. Like when I was so happy when I did the jiu-jitsu tournament while I was prepping for it during that time. I got second place, and I felt like I really did really good, even though I made a lot of mistakes in my last fight. And it was a huge thing that relieved a lot of pain. But like I had to get these little victories, and my wife was the biggest support. She saw how much I was losing weight, and like the difficulty of paying bills on time, and my personal bills, obviously. But like we got through it, and she's my rock, man. Like, dude, like I can't. I'll get teary eyed if I keep going. But yeah, it's still kind of a tough time, but it was a tough time, and I'll be forever grateful to you guys and Echo Base Network and Camelot, like, for having me on stream. It's like, it's been a relief of bringing back hope, because I was doing YouTube and I was always having fun, and it was increasing, and I was like, all right, in like 3, 4, or 5 years, I could probably hit 1,000 subscribers, and like maybe someday get monetized, and get a little income here and there, and I could take kids on like a little road trip and whatnot. But then like this, because I was never trying to like be unauthentic to go viral or anything like that, or trying other things. I was just always trying to be like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna keep going forward and see what I can come up with. And yeah, and it's been awesome. It's been awesome. So, but I need to know how to say your name. But Hero, was BAM trying to sue you for? All you did was share your experience. So they called me because they heard that recklessben was trying to reach out to me, or they heard that I was going to involve myself, and they said, do not involve yourself. And I was like, you can't do anything to me. You've taken everything from me. Luckily, I'm not a full-blown moron, and I knew how to budget, keep my house. But yeah, like, you try to put me $500,000 in debt plus the other things. I don't know how much I could talk about it because it's with different companies. But again, I want to stay into the pocket of Bricks and Minifigs. And again, those other companies, apparently it was Josh and Brandon that like try to associate to the store and then associate it to me, and it was freaking whatever. But they like, I'm never going to sell my name for silence. They never offered me any money, but they were trying to get me to shut up, and I'm like, dude, this is my story. This has nothing to do with your lawsuit. Like, I get to say whatever the hell I want to say. And I already talked to recklessben. So this phone call, I'm telling you right now, I already talked to him. So after the fact, if he wants to not talk to me because of you guys, like, that's up to him. But yeah, some people know, like, before recklessben got a gag order, like, if he was on a stream and I was invited to be part of the same stream, I was okay going. But yeah, you put Ammon, Matt, Josh, and Brandon into context, which gave us insight. Yeah, that's what I was going for. And Vega, that's very kind. I would love that. I have many questions about the Bricks and Minifigs situation, kinda, but more so the business side generally as well. Like maybe lessons you learned about franchising. Yeah, if you look, whenever I end this stream, if you pull up a stream and you hit me up on Instagram, I'll jump on. I'm drinking an energy drink for the first time in a long time because I just got off work at the restaurant and it was busy. I work at a Brazilian steakhouse and I serve meats to the table, cut it, serve it people, and so I'm running around all day and yeah, love it. But it's tiring working at a restaurant. But yeah, so you have provided so much helpful info and context to the situation. That's very brave to put yourself out there. I love it. Thank you. I consider Brian Mansell and Reckless Ben to be brave. They are really putting it out on the line. And if you know about my story with the lawyers, I just couldn't continue anymore. Like, after twice being screwed over lawyerly. I was going to say royally, but lawyerly, yeah. Generally more about just you. My community loves to support your based friends, especially stay-at-home mamas. Yeah, my wife's stay-at-home mama. She's the best. Hell me, you. Your scripture assembly. Hi, created a Twitter account to message you, but your inbox is closed. I don't know. So they keep... I've gotten like messages about that. If you message me on Instagram, that's the best way. I don't know what it is with, like, I created the X account because somebody said that's the only way they could communicate. And so I barely go on there. I check it every few days. Message me on Instagram, the last relic with the Eye of Relic 1. You'll see the same profile pic. But a lot of people been messaging me there. And so I'll take a look at it today if you message me on Instagram. And agreed 100%. Oh, good question. Way to contact you. Instagram. Good, not hood. LOL. All right. If they sued him, they would bring more attention to their devious ways. And I would not be quiet about it. Yeah. No deep pockets, no upside. What do you mean? Brick by brick. Hell yeah. Taller D comic. All right. Brick by brick. Badge by badge. All right. Love my 7 monsters. Does that mean you have 7 kids? Forgive me. Got here late and listening at 2 times to catch up. Things slowed down with y'all YouTube videos. Reckless Ben in the last 36 hours. Literally nothing new. I feel like everyone's waiting for 7. Here's the thing. I feel like nobody's waiting. I feel like it's dying because that... If you look back when Bricks and Minifigs sent out a letter to all their franchisees about how to counter a PR stunt, they said, like, they talked about the trajectory of things of, like, it's going to go up a lot and then it's going to come down, and we know how to mitigate that. So I think what they're doing is very calculated. Like, they waited it for it to hit a peak, and they're like, all right, after this peak, if we stop it, there's going to be this certain amount of time that it's going to die down for everybody, where it's like in the back of people's head, but we might be able to do some other PR stunt. And they told every franchisee about it. I forgot which videos. Oh, Reckless Ben's videos. He talks about it. He shows, I think it's after part 2 or during part 2, maybe. Actually, that's got to be after part 2. The letter that was sent to franchisees. So this isn't a fluke of why people are not talking about it as much in the last 36 hours. We need to keep it alive. You should do a jiu-jitsu video during a tournament. I actually have it, and again, it was like my first jiu-jitsu tournament. Made a lot of mistakes, but it was a lot of fun. Try some judo or some other throwing-based fighting technique. Nothing eases the soul more than tossing your opponent across the room. Yeah, I have a friend that's a black belt in judo, and I don't drink, but he does. He got drunk he actually can't remember. He told me that he doesn't remember. I had a barbecue like 2 months ago, and when I went to, before I was telling him the story, and he's like, I don't remember. He got drunk. We went upstairs. He was going to show me his guns and stuff, and then he just threw one of his kimonos at me. He's like, put that on. I'm going to teach you some judo movements. And then he was just throwing me straight to the ground and showing me what movements you can do. But yeah, I did a little bit of wrestling with my brother. Like, he did wrestling, competed and everything. I did not, but he showed me a lot of moves, and it's helped. Like, I played a little bit of American football, and it helped. It helps a lot with the drive. Like, when I'm taking an opponent down, I don't pull guard. I like takedowns. I know it's gonna probably mess up my knees over the next 15 years, but I think it's gonna be fine. I think I'll be all right. Has there been any independent confirmation that Josh and Brandon have actually been fired from and I just don't believe it. So here's the thing. They are no longer associated. Okay, that's corporate. They still have the store. They still have the Eugene location. So after I was threatened, the next day they also called me to let me know that Josh and Brandon are no longer with them. Cool, but they're still owners of a store. So that means they could also buy other stores on their own. It's just the corporate is not going to send them out to take a look at locations anymore. If another Bricks and Minifigs owner today wants to call Josh and Brandon to buy their location, they could do that, unless Matt and Ammon made them sign some other contract that prevents them from doing so. But any Bricks and Minifigs owner can also buy another Bricks and Minifigs location. But yeah, just call me Suppa. Supa or Suppa? I made this account when I was young and couldn't decide on a name. Dude, you should have seen my Xbox Live account. It was Gummy Bear Like 69 for like 15 years. People in LEGO community, etc., are talking about it still. They are talking about it, but not as much as they should be. You know, it's like there's some that are really doing a good job. Lego Empire, he is doing a solid job. He's the only one that's coming to mind right now. I know there's others, but I'm saying overall, like especially the big ones, they're very silent, man. And they can make a much bigger impact. Dude, awesome enough. Thank you. These Lego tubers are just treating these BAM stores like struggling mom and pop shops. Big or small, they're still part of corporate. That is true. But there is a level of empathy I think we should all have for these store owners, because imagine if they didn't screw me over. Okay? Today I'd have a store and all this would be happening to me. Like people hating on my store, and I had nothing to do with the Oregon situation. You know, I'd feel the same way I'm feeling right now towards them, and maybe a little less if I still had the store. But yeah, like that's just a reality. Like it's not like all 300 store owners thought that are on the side of corporate. It's just they invested in this, and they have to unfortunately live with this terrible PR. Yeah, shoot, very hard to keep up with the chat, but thank you guys. This makes it a lot more fun. Drinking energy drink at night. Planning on doing all-nighter. Maybe. We have a Brazilian steakhouse here in Winnipeg, and it's very yummy. What's the name of the Brazilian steakhouse? Brandon still owns a franchise. BAM owner has other businesses. Let go for now with compensation, hired back in 3 months. Really? Okay. Ammon has a few LLC under his belt. Yeah. Well, you could just create LLCs at any time. You know, I have 3 LLCs right now because I'm working on other things that I have been for a long time. But yeah, like LLC is pretty much creating another person to take the fall if you get sued. So then, like, if I didn't have an LLC and they wanted money, they could sue me. So then any assets I have, like the house, whatever, they could go after that. But an LLC stops it from reaching it to that point. So it's whatever's attached to the LLC. I don't use that. I use Facebook and YouTube the most. Okay, I don't have Facebook, but I'll try to remember to try to message you on X. Okay. Yeah, hopefully I'll get monetized soon. Thank you. Like I still need like 3,000 watch hours or something. Just watched new different guy post. He was out in Utah. What? They said it was 3 to 7 days for wave 1. Yeah, and it's happening. It's like, but that's why the silencing gag order keep him from talking, and everyone else will lose interest. Yeah, and there's been already some lost interest. There has been. Then another wave when a few days later or when new info comes in. Yeah, I'm caught up. Agreed. The wave died down, and BAM thinks they're safe now. They are not. I hope they are not. This story is not going away. They can silence Ben, but they can't silence everyone else. waiting until Ben drops. But then that's the thing. We all have to keep speaking up. But specifically, the Lego tubers have responsibility. And it's bothering me that they're not doing what they should be doing. In general, not all of them. A lot of them are doing some good work. Okay. She challenged Joshua. By the way, is it like lagging the stream? Because it was lagging a little bit last time. She challenged Joshua to a fight for 500K. Josh has done wrestling. That's why he looks like a thumb. Hopefully there will be some deep dives from other YouTubers about the CEOs and their shady past. Anything to keep their names at the forefront. Man, I have been scouring the internet for BAM, contracts, letters, internal memos, etc. I would die if I could find some. One of my good friends is a lawyer. She says the She saw the franchise agreement. Okay. I started in wrestling, so I get it. It would matter a lot as to who ultimately is responsible. And thank you for going live. Yeah. Thank you for joining. I love going live. Like, this is... I don't know. I just love it. Then Steakhouse, Carnival Brazilian Barbecue. I get some... Yeah. LC's work. If you not pierce the veil, chances they could have made mistakes. Yeah, it's true. One man showed their financials last night. Not good from the start. Damn. Like, here's the thing. It's very easy to open up a franchise, to keep it going. Like, any franchise you open up, it's going to do well in the beginning. Big, boom. Opening, all of that. Certain franchises will do soft openings, then a big grand opening. Like, for instance, like restaurants, that usually doesn't go well. Grand opening for restaurants like should be a lot of marketing and jump from the start, right? So I think a lot of people, from what I noticed when I started not working, but like being contacted by a lot of potential franchisees, they would have a very romantic vision of what it's like owning a franchise. Like, I spent an entire week sleeping at the store where I didn't see my kids, I didn't see my wife. I went back to like play with them for an hour and take a meal, some rice, beans, and some steak and chicken, and then go back to work, and I'd stay there. I'd be freaking hammering it out like every second. Like, I needed to make it quick because things can shift in a day. You don't know. Like, also, you don't know all the impact YouTubers actually have. Like, if a YouTuber visits your stores, has bad experiences, just like a restaurant, somebody puts a really bad experience, there goes like probably 40-50 people who only focus on the bad review, and that's it. Those 40-50 people will never show up to your spot again. So like, you really got to stay on top of it. It's not just something to open because you have a little bit of money and you think it'll be fun and you can provide something for the community. It's like, it has to encompass those things, but it needs to have a clear trajectory of your profit and the potential losses you're gonna make, but overall you're gonna be profitable every month, or at least by the end of the year you'll be profitable. Like, it's a business. It's not a game, but it's supposed to be a fun one. But yeah, here to help build up those hours. Heck yeah, but I hope I'm entertaining. Who owns the Lego in a BAM store? Surely it's the franchisee. The franchisee owns it. Okay. But then it's also whoever owns the store. Like, I've never done a consignment. I don't like consignments. I like having the cash. Like, many times I would buy in a collection in pieces. Like, hey, I know that you don't have time to wait, or if they had a storage unit. There was only one time like I bought an entire storage unit, and my employees came out with me, and we got like 2-3 different trucks, filled them up, and brought them back to the location, to the store. But I would just tell them, like, if you can sell it somewhere else, like, that's fine, but I can only buy, in pockets. But I'm not gonna do consignment. That was just me. It's unfortunate that it took this situation for me to discover your channel, but I'm really happy I found out you're finally able to share your story. Thank you, man. And again, I did get some backlash. Like, people would like come to the channel, like, here to support you, and then they'd watch like a few videos because I say retarded and gay and whatnot, like, because I don't give words a whole lot of power, especially with the background. Like, I've had a good life. I wasn't like super poor or anything. My parents, that's a whole nother thing. They grew up, my dad in particular, hella poor. But I lived a good life, and I was always taught that, like, you know, words, if they can change your emotion, then you have no control over yourself. So then I got like a lot of hate. It was funny. A lot of people. I got a few death threats on my email from people who followed me, and they thought I was their version of cool, and then they just like, you're a bigot, whatever. Like, you should do this to yourself. You should whatever. It was crazy. I'm really happy found it. Yeah, they're playing again. It's perfect. Thank you, sent everyone. It was a huge and so much more. Don't think BJC live show. I don't think Lego peeps know what to do. I was a little confused over that Jesse XO2. I have 11.6 thousand subs, but not even close to hitting 3,000 watch hours. Oh well. Damn, so I got a long way to go. Thumb, check the men's ears for cauliflower. But cauliflower is genetic. I have a friend, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he said, like, when he was a brown belt, his instructor like was pissed, and they're all from Brazil, that he had no cauliflower ears, and he literally pinned him down and just started elbowing his ears, and he never got him. You know, and I got like a little bit. It's a lot smoother, and like I do this sometimes because like I need to break it up, so like I crush the cartilage to make it flatter. But yeah, if it's a franchise, the owner of the franchise owns it. I believe it, but I have lots of questions about these sometimes hostile takeovers by corporate. 100%. Oh, feel free to ask me. Your stream is not. Thank you. Your stream looks good. 67 of the claimed 300 haven't opened yet. Ooh, really? Again, I don't know. I'm reading it for the first time. If that's true, then I wonder if they could still back out. It's romantic till you're scrubbing the toilet and buried in paperwork to meet a deadline. Yep. New staff always goes well. It is how you keep the interest going in your business, so that matters. That is the hard part, and that is the same across all business, that not just franchisees. Yeah, and I am very particular with my staff. Like, when I had the store, I think the first week I had one person fired because she was pretty useless, and every employee agreed. I asked them multiple times, like, what does she do here? Like, she had political arguments with customers in the store. She would tell people to shop somewhere else. I was like, why are you here? You know, and then a lot of people did quit, and some moved, and then I had one employee, just me and him, for like 7 months. And I had multiple interviews, and I remember my employee begging me, please hire somebody. I'm like, trust me, it's better to hire the right people than just having a body in the place taking care of it. But yeah, it's like, luckily, like, my staff, dude, sublime. Like, they were awesome. We all became friends. Yeah, like, we all still talk. It's been almost coming up on 2 years now that I no longer own the store. It's been 1.5 years since it's closed. But yeah, we talk pretty often. Put your streams into a playlist and ask people to let them run on their device. You'll hit 3,000 watch timers in no time. Cool. But I actually want people to watch it, not just like have it running. The franchise model seems to be screw people. Yeah. The Mesa, Arizona branch gave customers that option to not pay royalties. Is that really a thing? Wouldn't that breach some contract, or is this a deflection since franchisees still pay corporate something? Okay. So yeah, you can talk to corporate, and everything is negotiable. And it's not that like you don't pay for that month forever. You can not pay for a time and then get them in a payment plan, or like let's say you have a huge month and then you could pay everything back in full. But again, it's how corporate decides to use it. Are they going to use it against you, or are they? But like it's always documented. So like eventually, like let's say they just don't like you one day, they could say like, oh yeah, there was a period where you didn't pay your royalties, regardless if they agreed. Because if it's not on paper, if it's not signed, then they can claim whatever they want to claim with just words, you know. Or let's say it was never recorded, you know, because that it's not. Unfortunately, the law isn't about the truth. It's what you can prove, and that's it. It has nothing to do with right or wrong. It has everything to do of like, where's the paper trail? What can we prove and what can we disprove? And that's it. They beware doing poorly at the start that paid. Again, that's a other can of worms that it would be a much longer stream to get into, but I might get into it when somebody's asking me about it on some other stream. You are entertaining, I can say that much. Engaging speaker. Thank you, Apollo the Derg. It feels like it's lagging a bit. I don't know. I think in the end, this is going to increase interest in these kind of stores, not just Lego collectibles and buildables. BAM Corporate has to go away first, but I would go back to my local BAMs. Awesome. And that's the other thing. I think this is also shedding a light of like, hey, beware of corporations, but also how many other, not only just Lego stores that are not BAM or mom and pop shops or big corporations are screwing over their community, screwing over other people. Because this is one big story because of Reckless Ben. Again, we have to thank him for really shedding a light on all this bullcrap. Because how many people have been silenced throughout history, the years, like in your local, how many stories are not told that are in your local community, like by your neighbor? You don't know what kind of life they've led. You don't know what they've done in the past. You know, like there's so many stories out there that have been silenced. But you probably know some people who used to be a millionaire and now they're dead broke. You know, or now they're just getting back on their feet. Like you probably do, and you just will never hear that story. Yeah, I think right now by Effing Your Girl 74, nice. I think right now it's kind of being outshined by the recent trial that ended. Wish other franchisees would speak out if they got pushed out. Some tubers are still covered. And here's the thing. Here's what you got to be careful. That I know a few franchise owners there were hostile. There was a hostile takeover by BAM, but deservedly so. Like when you have a store and let's say you have it in a mall area, there's other people who have record. So you can't, like, let's say you don't trust BAM's records, right? If they are in certain plazas, if they have anywhere with a lease, they usually have a record of what's going on. So there's certain contracts that's like, hey, if you have a permanent lease, then you just pay that monthly percentage or that rent, okay? But if you have a temporary lease, which just means that it's not a permanent lease, like every certain amount of years you can renew it, or every 6 months you renew it, whatever, and then if you don't renew it, they could sell it to somebody else. There could be a lot of language that's different. But when you have a lease like that, or let's say you don't earn enough but they want your store in their mall or in their plaza, then what the agreement usually is like, then a certain percentage you owe to the mall. And you could even have a permanent lease, and then that mall just requires a certain percentage of your sales above like 50,000 or 70,000, right? Like as soon as you hit above this number, then you owe this much to the mall. I knew a lot of people that would refuse to, not a lot. I know some people that, you know, opened up second registers, would do only cash transactions, wouldn't put it on the record to the mall, to corporate, how much they were actually making, and they would just pocket it, and that's money that is rightfully the corporations and the mall, because you signed those contracts. And like you got to be careful with every story that's out there, because if they can't keep their story straight, it's a good sign that they're trying to avoid saying some business practices that they didn't that weren't good or legal. So 100% on giving words power, since many. What do you mean? My interest in the stuff had waned because it became an investment business, but now I just want to go into your store and play. Yeah. Wow. Send hit early. What do you... I'm wondering what you mean, because I don't know what you mean, man. I'm trying to catch up. To you guys. What are your thoughts on BAM business model, and whether it is more of a fake it until you make it model, knowing what you know of? Okay, so what the business model looks like is that one second here. What the business model looks like is that they're avoiding paying high taxes. Okay, when you operate at a loss, many businesses do this, where like they'll pay their CEOs or some other member of their staff, usually it's the bosses and presidents, a bunch of bonuses, so then it shows negative. Okay, but they're actually not operating in negative. It's like paying yourself, and then you have personal funds for emergencies that you can reinvest into the store, and then there's all this other legal language. It's again, not even tax experts understand the tax system or the tax law completely, but yeah, like there's ways for really like millionaire and big corporations to pay little to no tax. So that's I understand the reasons why. But I think there's a lot of people that don't really understand the business side of things, and they're like, look, they're trying to, they've always had no money or whatever. Like, no, they have money. They've been alive for like what, 15 years Bricks and Minifigs has, so there's money somewhere. What are your thoughts, Ben? No, is it? Some people are looking to be offended. Screw them. Yep. Thank you. Slurs have more power now because people and platforms force them to be forbidden. I think that is actually the plan, as those offended people will use slurs the moment they hate you. Slurs are funny. Think every store needs to be taught about business 101, and you could do how legally start franchise. It's scary. People don't know finance and blindly trust. Well, that's the thing. Like everything, if you're going into a franchise, like if it's a proper franchise, they should do their due diligence on the people, because you're practically still an employee. You know what I mean? So you should know, you shouldn't just give a franchise just to anybody who has money. You need to see their business plan. You need to see what their marketing strategy is, who's involved, how many investors, how many partners they got, what's their background, how can they provide, grow, and can they potentially own more than one franchise, and how well you're going to work with them, what's their personality. There's so many things that you should be able to look over, so then everything falls on the corporation. Like they can't say like, oh, this area failed because the franchisee picked a bad place to open, because corporate has to approve that area. They have to say that area is solid. We approve. We guarantee that if you do the right things in this area, it's going to be solid and it's going to grow, blah, 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 blah. So if they ever say like, oh, the reason your store failed is you did everything right, but it was a bad area. No, then that falls on corporate, because they're the ones that either approve or disapprove certain tactics or certain ways of things. So you have to follow the model that the franchise gives you. You can't just be like, yeah, I have the name, but our store is completely 100% different than the corporation, because screw them. We just want the name. You can't do that. You know? I'm very ill about the whole family and friends business dealings. Yeah. Live streaming and doing videos on these platforms are hard because there are so many streaming and see people watch. Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like I'm happy with the people who are here. Like I consider it a privilege that you guys are here and not somewhere else. And it's like, all right, like, so I need to do my job to make sure that you guys are entertained, and it was worth it, you know, to keep not only you guys coming back, but so that it's also worth it for me. Like I should do my best on live streaming, and it's great. Like let's say I'm live streaming at the same time as Moist Critical, and you guys decide to come here. Man, and you really like Moist Critical, but you find me entertaining at this particular time, then I'm happy that I'm always grateful for those who are here. I'm not worried about if somebody is somewhere else. Okay, so you guys, I reached 1,100 subscribers today. Those are 1,100 of the best people on the planet. You feel me? Do you think they are intentionally doing the hostile takeovers after the stores are set up and stocked? Do I think they're doing that? That would be the smart thing to do for a hostile takeover. You don't want to do a hostile takeover over an empty store. Like if I was a scumbag, like I would want a perfect, like best product store to take over. Like you can take over some just, oh, I hate this franchisee. This guy is terrible to work with. And do a hostile takeover for whatever reason you pick or whatever reason that they have violated. So yeah, you don't want to, because then the money invested falls on you. Like if the store's empty and you take it over, now you have to keep it alive or shut it down, and that's a loss. But then there's also tax benefits for a loss. I won't say benefits, but there's tax strategies. Again, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a lawyer. Go seek legal counsel to those who practice law. I'll just give you my opinion. We have 2 used Lego stores here now in Winnipeg. No BAMs though. I am only familiar with the first one. The owners are fantastic people. That is awesome. I love supporting mom and pop shops. Like when I went to South Korea, so many restaurants are just that local restaurant, and it's usually like a couple that retired and open it, and it's always great. A lot of them closed down, unfortunately, but it's always good to. I love seeing just unique stuff that's not all corporatized, and it's nice. It's nice. I wish we could get more franchises, but I read some have NDAs. Yeah, that NDAs are pretty standard. So you sign an NDA for while you're there, and then you sign an NCA for like a certain amount of years or undisclosed amount of time after your franchise agreement's over. Because let's say you sign a franchise agreement for 5 years. Well, in 5 years, that means as soon as that's over, you can either like re-sign back into the franchise, or you can go and sell it and do your own thing and just leave it at that. But then you have a non-competition agreement. Therefore, it's like if you got like this perfect game plan from the franchisor, you can't just collect all that data and then say screw them and open your own spot. You have to wait a certain amount of time, because that knowledge is not going to go away, right? There are some NCAs for franchises that's for life. You can never, like if you own this particular business for this franchise, you can't open one that is similar or just like it ever again. You have to either stick with this franchise for the rest of your life, or you have to find some other business. You can't, like there's a lot of NCAs like that. I'm not saying Bricks and Minifigs has that. My NCA was only for 1 year. So at this point, I could open another Lego location or store. Sounds like they were very big people to the foot bill for setup and then take over. Anyone to give it to a buddy. Maybe. Scott DeLandro, there's a video going around where the dad of the Band brothers said they couldn't even make their own store profitable. How can they show franchise how to make money? If they couldn't make their own store profitable, the previous owners of Bricks and Minifigs before Matt and Ammon offered the business to them. So there's something there that, again, it's a very sticky situation with their father. And I think there's a lot of information that is important, but nobody's really tying it back into Reckless Ben. They're just saying like, oh, this shows how scummy they are, but you don't know the full story. The Reckless Ben story, we're getting to know the full story. We're getting so much more. The other stuff is more speculative. Like, do you know if their father's a scumbag or not? You know, from people that I know, from Matt and Ammon themselves, and I did my due diligence because I want to know who I was working with. Maybe I should have done much deeper, but at least at the time, I believe they were good guys. And you know, their father, like, they stole from other companies that they were never associated with while they were growing up. He wasn't faithful to their mother. There's a whole spew of things, and again, I don't know if it's necessarily important to the case, but it is important to know that they've had experience suing before. Okay. But regardless, the previous owners of Bricks and Minifigs, the ones who started it all, they saw Matt and Ammon and thought they were great and sold it to them. Because if they didn't think, they loved their brand. If they didn't think that they could make that brand grow, they wouldn't have sold it to Matt and Ammon. And unfortunately, along the way, they became super greedy, terrible, disgusting people. That scripture is very true. Okay, the moment they give you that out on royalties, it's signing your death warrant, as you found out. Yes, hostile takeover ammo. Trust in BAM for its dicey at best. Yeah, be careful what you sign. I never signed my franchise termination. They're terminating my franchise agreement. Never signed it. The man from Utah I saw last night showed their major income was new franchisees and their 20% interest. NDAs are void, as are contracts if they broke the law, deliberately deceived people, usually. But it has to be proven that they broke the law or deliberately deceived. That still has to be proven. Just because words are spoken, as I've learned, doesn't mean that's what's going to be accepted. So true. Dude, there's been a ton of stuff that's been dug out about Josh. Josh is a pathetic. I hate that guy so freaking much. He is insane. Okay? You have no idea. When you're around this dude, okay? When you're around him, you're like worried if you're going to catch AIDS or something. You're worried that like breathing that same air is going to make you retarded. He is just an atrocious human being. He doesn't like care about anybody. He would pick up phone calls in front of you, in front of customers, and just start yelling at whoever's on the phone. He would like talk about people as if they were nothing. Like I remember I was in the back room. He was there. I'm taking product to put out because we just sold like a ton of used sets, and he's just like saying stuff like, just get rid of her. Like I don't care if she was right or wrong. Like, just get rid of her. I don't want headaches. Like, if you have to call me about this kid, like, fire her. Like, I could always find somebody else. Stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know the context, but like, why would you say it that loud in front of people? Like, if I walk in a room and you are on the phone and you look at me, and it's serious conversation, I expect you to say, like, oh, can you give me a minute? Can you go back out? Like, that's normal. But it's almost like he wanted to show off of like his power. You know, again, that Waka Waka thing I said, that is true. He just yelled waka waka, like he did that. This freaking fruit berry, dude, like this fruitcake, this queer. I hate this dude. This guy is a pathetic human being. And also he truly believes Elvis is still alive. He believes 100%. He's one of those people. All right. He's big boy dumb. Okay. Couple of lags, but minimal. Damn. Okay, so true. There's been a lot. When you move fast, there's some skip. Damn, my bad. But it's super clear and the audio is fine. All right, maybe drop the resolution one notch to make it smooth. Like I can't really do that here. Like, oh, I'm on OBS. Apparently, I can only do it after freaking A. After this, like when I'm not live. Took in twice as much advertising money as they spent on advertising. I would 100% believe that, because I had a phone call once and I'm like, I want to know where this advertising, this 1% advertising is going, because I'm not feeling it. I don't know. I want to know what I'm paying for, you know, and they didn't really have really good answers. If you're on Twitch and used to play a lot of video games with them. What? That's why we latched on to these stories brick by brick. You will be needed if they are investigated for talking leases surreptitiously, taking stores, taking products. I'm down. If Reckless Ben is like, hey, I need you. Can you show up to court, dude? I will do it. You know, if I can help in any way, I will do it, because like I can't stand by and watch somebody. I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies. All right. In second grade, I was a bully. And that memory, and I wasn't a bully because of like I hated other kids. It's in first grade I realized that like every time I got beat up or jumped, like or curb stomped, you know, and I lost teeth or whatever, I realized the pattern that I saw was people were lying to me. So they would lie to me about something like, oh, we have some Yu-Gi-Oh cards to give to you. I'm like, all right, like meet me at this corner of the school. And then like 3 kids would just come out and just beat the living crap out of me. So, and then when my parents got involved, the schools didn't really do much about it. So then my father, like my grandfather in Brazil, he used to box, not professionally or anything like that. And my dad always loved martial arts, and he trained very, very little, but my mom was like, all right, you got to teach him to fight, because we're trying everything and nobody's doing anything about it. So then in my mind, it was like, if somebody lies to me, that means they're going to beat the living crap out of me. So as soon as anybody lied to me, or I felt like they were lying to me, I'd go ham. I'd go crazy. And then there was like this one kid that, man, like I still remember him to this day. And I don't know what it was, because I don't think he lied to me. It's just like I took some anger out on him. And I hated myself for years, all the way till junior high, man. And still think about him till this day. But I hate bullies. I can't stand them, because they don't never pick on anybody their own size. But yeah, there's a little history lesson of my life for you. Stores taken back, etc. They got the other little items, training and travel. Still open franchises. Yeah. Would Relic write an affidavit though, or testify? For who? I would testify. Like this is in my mind. I don't know what kind of impact I can have at a court. Okay. In my mind, what I can speak about is my story, as I'm doing now, and I could give my opinion on their characters, of what my thoughts were when I met them, what it was like working with them, and what it was how it was, how I felt, and what happened after the fact, and all this stuff, and like how I feel about things now and who I think they are now. That's like, I don't have the Oregon information that I was personally involved with to give. So, but if like they call me to testify about their character, like I'm okay doing that, you know. Generally, they need a full forensic audit, and they're gonna need to keep reporting everything to proper channels. For your likes, let's smash the like button. Yeah, smash the like button, peoples. Business model: sell them on it, run. Money helps those that have money. BJ Blowjob is the top investigator at this point. Who's BJ? To help Ben, I guess that gives SND goes. Again, I'm also, you know, I'm not dumb, but I don't know the lingo. I don't know what you're saying when you just put a bunch of letters together. Every time Bam does an interview or makes a statement and their story changes and validates recklessben, let them dig their own grave if their attorney isn't telling them to shut up. Yeah, but that's also to the public. And how many people at this trial in the court is actually following the internet? They're probably gonna only see the papers, the things that recklessben provides, and what's it called, BAM provides. Like that's why this story needs to stay alive on the internet and needs to really branch out, because the internet's one thing, but people who watch like documentaries are not on the internet. People who watch movies are like people. Not all people are always watching YouTube. Okay, a lot of people, I would say people, the most passionate people are on YouTube. They that care about these properties, these movies and whatnot, or these stories. But not everybody is informed. And even though the internet is a big place, it is not most of the population that is understanding or watching this content. The recklessben situation, even in the Lego sphere, I would bet not even half of Lego collectors know about the situation. Have some connected attorneys. Keep the pressure on. Like, I will keep the pressure on. Digging into the LLC web, moving assets from LLC to LLC, I found a lot of possible intermingling of their personal and business assets. A ton of movement since this hit. Yeah, if you move the pieces, like, they can't like come after you 100% if like things are different. Deserved or not, isn't there a pattern? First 2 to 3 years is hell for business. Let the franchisees eat all the liability first, then corporate does a hostile over and recover all the assets. For me, in the first month, I was profitable and I was good, and then every month we were fine. Like, yeah, it all depends on your plan. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people, and maybe this is their exit strategy. Maybe they don't care about the press. Maybe this is their exit strategy to get out of the company and get all this money and win one case, but like use it as like the gimmick to be like, oh, this PR nightmare. Like, even though we won, like, we're gonna have to shut down and not gain empathy or sympathy, but just to make sure that they don't lose any money, and they could liquidate all the stuff they got and sell to some poor bastard. That's a theory. Why they have those, like, it will come out following the money will show it. Yeah, but where's the money? How do we follow it if there's no trail? I appreciate that you're actually reading the chat and responding rather than just promoting super chats. Well, here's the thing. I understand why super chats, people just read super chats and donations. It's because, like, they're bigger channels. I'm right now, the point of this live stream is start off with my opinion and like really like answer you guys' questions or whatever you guys are curious to know about, or just chill with you guys, you know. So I get it, because when the chat moves so fast and you want to know what the chat is thinking, like the super chats are important to slow it down. And yeah, but I'm not that big yet. Keyword. But yeah, facts. The reports about attorney not only mermaid, but former Phoebe scared me all of the defendants. True. What are the odds BB and JJ have been skimming Lego sets from the stores they are sent to? There are no odds. They definitely been doing it. Camelot used to work for GameStop, and GameStop did some crazy stuff. And they're still around, and people still go to it. Catch you later, Zombie Box Reviews. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the last relic. We'll be live again. I will be going on the Average Boys podcast tomorrow. We probably won't talk anything related to Lego. It's an awesome YouTube channel. Super cool guy, and we just talk movies and mainly comics and things like that. But great show. I usually do it every Sunday if I can, or shut it down because it's on the operator's name, not so lost to corporation, people taking over, like they tried to do with you on the lease, removing their name and leaving your own. I believe that's what you said. Yes, they never took my name off the lease, and then it's not that they removed it, it's that their name expired on the lease, right? Because usually corporate won't have their name on your lease agreement. But sometimes they become personal guarantors because they believe in you, or they claim to believe in you. And then what they did to me is they waited all the way till their name was off. So then there has to be a name on the lease, and they never removed mine. And boom, left me with all the damage. NDAs, it's enforceable for illegal activity, but evidence, there's something illegal and have evidence back it up. There were only 3 of us last night looking at the financials from one guy. It says, bam, no way, 400 million and failing. Well, yeah. Like, you can, on paper, it's failing because there's negative, there's losses. But it doesn't mean that in reality, it's like, loss can pass, but it doesn't mean it's morally correct. You know what I mean? So, same concept, like, it could show on paper that there are losses, but that money went somewhere. Okay? NCAAs wasn't the harvest I've seen. Have you seen any of the investigating showing that the corruption spreads through other consulting firms in Utah, not just BAM, for example, Legally Mine? Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. Like and all owned by Matt and Ammon, from what I know. They had one in Orem, but there are like 4 to 5 BAMs in the whole family. That I didn't know. I wonder if Ammon's stake president could be influenced to initiate a stake-wide fast to lend Ben the strength to overcome the adversary. Maybe. I'm 67 years old. Thank you, Microwave Wheel. 67. Hell yeah, brother. And a lot of my friends around my age know about this story. So don't think us older people don't follow what's going on. More of us than you think are watching. Brother, I didn't put it as a general sense. I'm saying like my parents specifically, those who are Camelot, what's up? Those who are like were involved intimately with me that are my parents don't know about this story. I'm not saying other people who are 70, 60, 50, whatever. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, there are people who are close to me that don't know. That, like, I go to church every Sunday. You know, I go to work every day. Nobody knows. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking to you guys. You guys know. But when I go to work and then I talk to them about Lego, like, they're like, yeah, what? Like, I watch a lot of YouTube, but not into the Lego stuff, or don't know about this scandal. And this is much more entertaining and important than just Lego. It's like somebody stole money and then it's all this, right? Father is a scumbag. Yes. Previous owner sued, but it is on their team now. What? Like on the Bricks and Minifigs team? Like they were sued by Bricks and Minifigs, and now they have some agreement that like he came back on their team. Because the lady from one of the videos I saw, if correct me if I'm wrong, the lady said, like the lady signed something to claim that recklessben made certain threats, right? But they don't have like recorded evidence, but like I guess she signed an affidavit. So that could be another thing, like maybe because I don't know if I should word it that way. But yeah, maybe there was some agreement to like bring him on, like, oh, we'll drop this case if you speak good about us. That's possible. Previous owner sued, but okay. He learned asset protection from You mean Milton? Agreed. It's way beyond Ben now. Yes, chaos. You are on it. The divorce decree from Dan and Evelyn handles ownership in Legally Mine, and bam. Hi, friend. Black Circle. Yeah, Brazil. Honestly, today's performance in the World Cup, I thought was kind of sad. Brazil should have done much better. Like, I don't think Brazil's going to win the World Cup this year, mainly because Morocco, 2 of their best defenders got injured in practice, and they didn't play, and it was still 1-1. That's pretty much ridiculous. That's really ridiculous. JA owns some interesting companies now. Yep. I think you can suck at retail sales but do well with business strategy. And to their credit, I think Ammon and Matt know what they are doing. They just allowed hubris to be their downfall. It's possible. I don't know who we can hate more, Josh or Ammon McMustache. Trust me, brother. If you met the two, you could probably here's how you could sum it up. You could be like, oh, Ammon I just don't like. Josh, you're gonna be like, this animal, this creature is a pathetic waste of human space. I don't know why we're breathing the same air. I need to get away from this fool. That's when you meet Josh in person, you're like, he's trying to be friendly and all this stuff, and it's just like, you come off as like some sort of creature. It's trust me, you'll hate Josh more. And that's the other thing. We need to have a little bit more focus on Josh and Brandon, because they've done a really good job of like hiding themselves, and now everybody's like focused on Matt and Ammon. Again, Josh and Brandon probably know more than Matt and Ammon at this point, because they're the ones that really stole the Legos and are hiding it for probably even corporate. And Matt and Ammon for some reason are cool with it, which is insane. The guy making promises on the phone to Kreis. What happened to Kai? Don't know. Maybe he got let go. They need to find the locksmith who came to change the locks that night. Dude, that's actually a good idea by Joss 182. Maybe tell CopyZilla to go find the locksmith. But here's the thing. It might not have been a locksmith. So usually in a space, like you have in the safe a set of keys, and there's a key to like pull the entire lock out, and then you have another set of lock and then keys to go with it. So there probably wasn't a locksmith. Fun fact, on March 19th, 2026, BAM got super worried about their pending national trademarks and set Denton to fix that. One of the lawyers is named Brick Power. Josh was the next pasty. Oh my gosh, why did it freak out like that? Oh. Okay. Game stop. Cam raid, gay raid. Oh, is this from Camelot? So raid is like you send your people over. Sick. 156 people watching. That is a personal record. Hell yeah. Hell. Personal record. Sick, guys. Thanks for watching the stream. I'm reading your guys' chats. Do you have any affiliation with Adam Schmick? I will never have affiliation with that fool, Keylocks. I know quite a bit about that gentleman. If you like him, I'm sorry. He is really good. He is a man of the people. He knows how to play it. He's ex-military, part of the community, all that stuff. Trust me, he's done some bullcrap. He's done a lot of terrible things that is in relation to his business practices. Let's say there was quite a few women that, as he was married, he was trying to have some fellatio. and they had to block them, and they were just regular customers. And yeah, I have, in the first week of me owning that spot, so he's no longer allowed in the mall that he originally had his first, or not his first location, but originally had the store in. And the first week of me owning the spot, one of my employees was out and about. He noticed him and he threatened him. Trust me, not a good person to be around. All right. Josh is probably really married, or was the stroller a prop? Yeah, Josh was the next pasty and real dumb. He is done. I just remind BJC that registry wasn't created for financial companies to be logged. Even shows younger folks don't get. We had to create the internet. Yep, we had spent years temping in the early O's typing. Sorry I'm late, but have you already seen the Salem store franchise agreement? No. So it's weird because I heard Crystal say she only had a 1-year franchise agreement. Like, am I freaking out here? Like, didn't she say that? Oh yeah, I'm way behind because I read the court report. Yeah, so like I've never heard that being a thing. Like usually you never do less than 4 years at the very least. Well, I don't know if I'd be appropriate for CoffeeZilla, not in terms of how I talk, but somebody said get in touch with CoffeeZilla for results. No, I'm more like I think what he's doing is correct, like going truly after the story. If like he wants to make a video about my story, I don't know how it would help his way of investigating, because he did really good work and he stayed in the pocket and went really after Bricks and Minifigs and Crystal and Ben and try to get like the meat and potatoes of everything. So I think he's doing good work. I don't think he needs me. Like, just glad you put your history with these poopy birds. It still fills in a lot of gaps. I'm glad it does. I hit up Delaware today. That state is tied up tight and also looks like where many are hiding things. Is there something I don't know about Delaware? FranChimp has franchise financials. I started a nationwide database, and so far, Alaska is a nice place to look. And here's the funny thing about having the financials. So I had the accounting guys. It's a company called the accounting guys. They were terrible. Their P&L statements all over the place. I've had to fix it so many times. Where like I fired them twice because they were the reason I say twice is because the first time they didn't get the memo and they just kept billing me. I'm like, all right, if you're here, like I was gonna do my own thing, but whatever, I'll give you another chance. But they are atrocious at accounting, and that's how accountants are. Like most accountants, it's just putting number and matching it to whatever they think it's supposed to go, and then you should be able to read that statement, the P&L statements, and be like, actually, this is supposed to go here and this is supposed to go here. This wasn't this loss. I don't know where you got that. And you're supposed to discuss it over. And that's why you have somebody separate, like a bookkeeper, right? And sometimes a second accountant to like look over everything. But yeah, so be careful of like just reading the financials. Like I don't know how many have really crappy accountants. Now, so far, Alaska's a nice place to look. Relic the Court Reporter, or FranChimp, is a website, by the way. But you, as a store owner, had experience dealing with these two. Your testimony could go a long way. I hope so. That's why you should work with CoffeeZilla and BJC. You provide important information about a trend of behavior from ban. This can help establish the pattern on paper. Have your documents on it. Yeah, and he could like just use my videos. I'm cool with that. Like, but if he reaches out to me, I'll talk to him. I'll talk to anybody who reaches out who I believe have good intentions. But I usually always respond to everybody. Allegedly, corporate isn't profitable, which explains why they can't shell out $200K and $500K. Allegedly, but also it's again where the money went? Is it in their pockets, but like the company doesn't have it? How do they afford these losses in PR, or does BAM overall have more loans, hence the negative equity? No, like it's just where they put the money. So like instead of always having like, oh, this is how much profit we gain, it's like this is how much we made and this is how much we paid. So we have nothing for emergencies or savings or whatever. Like we're at a loss. So it's just tax purposes and stuff. You get, like when you there's so many interesting and funny ways to get around or utilize the tax system. Okay, like they want by everybody else want money. The exit strategy seems dumb. They're suing poor people. Yeah, but somebody's gonna pay. Deep dive videos. One of their latest videos does a deep dive on Joshua Johnson. There's a smaller video recap of a 4-hour live she did recently. Oh yeah, I heard about that chick. I think she's doing a good job doing live streams, but again, I think she needs to refocus. Like a lot of people, you need to refocus back into the Reckless Ben situation, because this dude again is facing 20 years in prison. That's a death sentence. They are trying to destroy this man's life and Brian Mansell's. Like that's where I think it's getting lost, where people are focusing on things that they're passionate about in this story, because there's so much in the story, but they're not refocusing back on like, yo, still 200 grand was stolen from this man, 107 like possibly, and then whatever the reports are, but these guys are stealing from people. They're ruining people's lives, and they are not good people. That needs to always go back to that focus. It can't just be like, oh, here's all this other information, and then okay, why are we learning about that information? How does that tie in? You know. But yeah, really rich people under new management since Cam left. JJ appears to own part of law firm Fortune. Okay. Really rich people don't look so scared as deer in the headlights. M and Dan has some coin, but the way his sons have put everything on Front Street, I think that whole house of cards is going to fall. Let me be rude. JJ looks broke as heck on video. I'm glad I saw you on Echo Base Live. This is very interesting to us that are following the Reckless Ben situation. And again, praise, hail to Echo Base Network. I'm glad their videos are doing awesome, and they should be doing much better because their editing is great, and they're just good people, man. Like their channel should be way bigger than it is. It's so anybody here who came from somewhere else and don't know the Echo Base Network, go check out the Echo Base Network. They're phenomenal people. Chaos, I agree. LawTube is in GNA tier. Tear them apart. They have no clue. JJ from Broke. Google Maps shows his house is actually huge in depth backwards. He also has that fancy F-150 and F2 350. They aren't broke. Camry 8, yeah. He only spent a fraction of the advertising income from the franchise on actual advertising. I think it was way less than 50% last year. Yeah. That's another thing. I think the owners can also band together and do an investigation on how they were screwed. That has nothing to do with the Reckless Ben situation, because just seeing all these people getting screwed over, or these stories being put out on the internet, I think other franchisees are going to be more skeptical about who they got into bed with, and could be other investigations afoot. Okay, I like the show, boys. Gay Raid, hi Gabe, what's up, Gary Pie? In an ideal world, Josh should personally have to pay you $500,000, proclaim you the superior Mormon. That was awesome. Russ B6586 with the best chest so far. Alan Jones, like and subscribe to Alan Jones or to me. Aspen Gold needs to pick this story up. I like Aspen Gold. You're 69, nice. 67, I could give about Legos, but I sure get pissed off hearing about corporate greed and thievery. Legos are pretty cool, man. Legos are pretty cool. But yeah, okay, man. Can't afford a landscape or decent clothes or dentist. Okay, but the man can't. What are we talking about? Okay, Chaos. Did they Did they all find the other accounts? Do you think they are honestly reporting all of them, or we have to manually dig, not just on financial? I think you're going to have to manually dig, because like I said before about the whole accounting stuff, it can also not be clear. Like, if you know how to do the math, that's why, like, you should be very good at math when you can figure out if somebody's laundering money, or where is it coming from, why are they buying so much of a certain thing, all this stuff. So you can see if the accountants misplaced or put numbers where they shouldn't have, or switched up two different numbers that shouldn't have been switched up. So then other stores might be operating at a loss and whatnot. But yeah, because like P&L statements don't really show where, well, they do show, but like the money that's currently in your account or what you've used it for. You know, that comes to like, and that should be on multiple statements, but there's always like weird things that some people do that just get a little too creative. But yeah, Chaos, did they all find other accounts? Do you think they are honestly reporting all of them, or do we have to manually dig up? Yeah, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows where the paperwork is. Yeah, Peachy, yeah, you definitely don't need to care about Legos at all. A story about the little man getting crushed by corporate America. To be fair, that video at JJ's house was in early March. Lawn is dead as F then here in Utah. So question, are you personally a Lego fan or just business savvy and saw an opportunity at the time? Huge Lego fan. Okay. Me and my kids play Lego. They play Lego every day. All right. This Spider-Man head, this is actually Lego. Yeah, that I built. See, all Lego. Same size as my head. I have you can't see it right now, but I have a collection. My minifig collection is right up there. I have a lot of Lord of the Rings sets, a lot of Star Wars sets. I usually build my own mocks. I should show you guys my mock some other time that me and my dad built together. Ever since I was a kid, my favorite ship was the Naboo Starfighter, and it's much bigger than minifig scale. It's a freaking behemoth, but it is awesome. It's real sick, and I have it till this day. Always loved Lego. But I also saw, like, my wife asked me, like, hey, are you actually gonna open a business, or is this like a way for you to play with Lego all day? And I showed her the numbers. My father was a CFO for 21 years for a company, and an accountant, and also a commercial realtor, and he looked over the numbers as well. I trust him 100%. I would never sue him. He is the most incredible human I know. My father's you guys gotta meet him. His name is Vladimir, and he is a giant of a man in his heart. Like, he's just a great person. But yeah, like, it was a business opportunity along with actually love for Lego. But the love came later because I couldn't spend time building Lego. I had to actually run a business. And every time I built Lego, it was usually with my son. And it was and my daughter. But yeah. The burden of proof is on BAM. They claimed he was threatening. Yeah. Anthropology Bear 2941, 69 years old. Hell yeah. Following this is passionately since the very beginning. 5th generation LDS and disgusted by the necessary exposure or behavior unbecoming of a member of the church on display. Shame. Yeah, it's interesting. The mustache cannot be stopped. You said it, brother. But can it? Can like you know, Camelot, like you guys know 21 Jump Street, where like the guy's eyebrows when they were getting high like floated into the mustache? That seems like what happened to Ammon. Like, his eyebrows are no longer there, and it's just the pirate loser stash. It's insane that he still has that. I don't think they read comments. But yeah, shame on him. But it's not just It's not just being a member of the LDS Church. It's just shame as a person. Like, I don't care what religion you're a part of. I don't care what you believe in and represent. You should, like, strive to be a good human being regardless of beliefs. Like, and these people, they were taught certain principles that even if you don't believe in the religious part in their teachings, the principles are good. Be kind, do unto others what you would do unto yourself, never covet, follow the 10 Commandments, be honest in your dealings with your fellow man, all that stuff. And they just refuse. Like, it's like teaching a bird to fly, and they just decide to swallow a piece of dynamite and blow up because that's how they thought they were going to fly. Like, that might be a stupid freaking little analogy I put together, but yeah, it's ridiculous. They're just bad people that were taught great things and decided to go against everything they were taught. An awesome dude for not making your chat subscriber only. Yeah, why the freak would I do that? That's weird. Like, if you guys like my content, you'll subscribe, hopefully. And if you don't, you won't. Like, I'm not gonna force people to subscribe to be able to talk. Like, I've had people completely hate on me on other streams, and people but like, I like hearing what you have to say. I don't care if you hate on me. Like, as long as we can disagree but all still talk to each other. They all came off like dick bags. Mustache guy is instantly hateable. Jack Mormon, business guys at my church sent my fam to pray at home. What? Sent your family to pray at home? Don't know what Jack Mormon means. Is that like you jack off a lot or something? Or Sean Games drunk burst. Okay. Yeah. Josh is actually beneath bird poop. Cam Raid, yeah. Bam Corporate did tax evasion. I think the government rewards those who snitched like 15 to 30%. Word, but they might have done it the legal way. I think in certain states you get 100%, right? I think Florida you get 100%. Everyone chill in the chat until he catches up. We haven't even got to Josh yet. Josh is just a narcissist putting on a performance. Emin is just selfish is the vibe I get. The store destroyers and the thieves. Truly, we research screenshots and share tips. The lock-picking lawyer, Cody. It was the first raid, Cody. LOL. Who's Cody? Oh no, Cody. Count on. My bad. What up, dude? You're the man. Thanks for sharing your story. Prayers with you by Christopher Latcher. Thank you. You broke his cherry. Now, bankers should be reporting unless the money went to crypto. How can the legal charge you for 6 months rent when they took over the store and didn't even make you manager? This doesn't seem legal. It doesn't. A lot of things don't seem legal, but it is. Pretty sure I connected the new Binance guy to that scary AF. It is the lawsuit. Their contract is evidence in the lawsuit. Also, the Google file from collecting weekly podcasts from a year ago from Plan the Ad Tropicals. All right. Thank you for coming to the stream. Do you remember WC 2002? Mine was watching Brazil win at like 4 a.m. By dawn, there was a crowd of 1,000 people on the beach partying with some very confused police. Yeah, I was here in the U.S. I remember my parents taking me and my siblings to their friend's house, and they had kids the same age. And I remember I was so damn tired, and they woke me up by yelling and throwing food around or whatever they were doing. And I was like, what the freak is going on? I was sleeping on just the floor in front of the TV. Delaware. Most businesses aren't incorporated in Delaware. The goal of getting in touch with CoffeeZilla is adding documentation to help him in his investigation. In your story is one thing. The bigger picture of you are also part of. Like, I have my franchise agreement. I have the termination. The terminating the franchise letter. I have I don't have the scripts of the phone calls. They have that. they're the ones I had them record our phone calls. So Bam has all the recordings, unfortunately. I have pictures that I took when I went to clean the store of their negligence of like leaving people's personal information out from trade sheets and things like that. It was so I have that kind of stuff. So I don't know how much that would just mainly prove their negligence and what they utilized to try to get rid of me. But again, I think my story, as compelling as it might be, I don't think it's like it would help CoffeeZilla. You know what I mean? Like, perspective will help it, but I think my documentation doesn't connect with Brian Mansell and recklessben. Clarify that's the thing though, Gabe. How are you gonna know if your story will help coffee or not? No, like if he reaches out to me, like he knows what's gonna help the story or not. Like my story's on YouTube, it's on Camelot's channel, it's on Echo Base Network, it's here at The Last Relic. Whatever I believe he'll reach out to me if he deems that I could be helpful. If I can't be helpful, like I'm not mad that he's not reached out to me. I'm not mad if some other YouTuber hasn't reached out to me. It's just they don't consider my story particularly helpful for what they're trying to do, and that's 100% fine. I like being a fan and I like watching his videos. Like I'm not saying like, oh, my story 100% can't help. I don't know, because I don't know what he's got cooking. But if it can help, I'm cool. According to Josh Joshin, a Nevada Series LLC is better because you can hide your LLC with your LLC, so you can steal from old people while you silence young people. Yeah. And you could also claim everybody is on heroin, apparently, because that's Josh's MO. They have shell companies and shell companies, record viewership, and barely acknowledge the raid from Camelot. Hey, I acknowledged it, all right, because I took forever. I am so thankful, and I just, while I was talking, I had to look up what a raid was. Like I've heard raid, like I thought it was like Raid Shadow Legends. That's what came to mind because I watched a lot of Count Dankula, a lot of his Mad Ass stuff, and he's I don't know if he's still sponsored by him, but he was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. So when I thought like Raid, I'm like, oh, he's telling people to go play the game. So now like I know what it is. But Camelot, you are the man. Thank you for the raid. But yeah, BJ is close with. Is that enough for you? The amateur anal, or and 9-4? My bad. BJC is close with Valhalla. They know your story. Cool. What's BJC? Cut him some slack, amateur. It's his first raid. It is my first. My cherry has been popped, as Camelot likes to do from behind. No way in hell Ben is going away for that long. We don't know, man. That's what scares me about this whole thing. That's why I say we need to keep this alive. We need for the Lego. I think everybody should, don't harass the Lego YouTubers, but tell them please, we want to know more about your opinion on this. Please let your audience know about this story, because one video isn't going to do enough. If you have 500,000 subscribers and then one video did 200,000, who knows if that was all your subscribers. Doing more live streams and more videos, and even if it's just your opinion and you're not researching it, but put it out there, put that story out there. You need to do that. I think we should all try to get these Lego YouTubers to be please be more vocal on the situation, because it's not enough. Yes, the magnet rabbit hole is far gone from the original story. Hey, we might do a wee bit more time, but he knew that was going into it. Ben charges are nonsense. He needs to change a venue. Yeah, everything I've seen so far from you, though, Gabe. Here's to you, hopefully getting the come up. Good fortune, sir. Cheers, brother. Cheers. Found you from Echo Base 2. Great. Echo Base 2. Great channel. Thank you, Christopher. Christopher Latcher, you the man. You the man. Lord Jorah, the 100K to 200K number doesn't really matter. The collection can be evaluated by 3 different people. You get 3 different numbers. It is the collectible market. That's also true. What's the time frame that they've analyzed the worth of this collection? Because here's one thing a lot of people forget, that Disney, the more stuff they put out, the less valuable a lot of stuff become, especially the newer products in the past, like, I would say 9 years. Because also Lego doesn't care about the collector's market. They say they don't, and then they bought Bricklink to only gain like 3% profitability, and then they make only one minifig of this one dude in this set, and then never make it again. But then they say that this is a collector's edition, like the UCS Venator with the Captain Rex, and then immediately 3 months later they put the exact same minifigure that's supposed to be exclusive to a collector's edition into a microfighter that's like $10-$20. So yeah, it's kind of hard to track, as well as when you're being objective. Like I said before, Disney Star Wars sets are some of the only sets that are cheaper after retirement. That's the truth. Not all of them, but a lot of them. It all ties into a bigger goal of exposing all the BAM folks, so we could see not just free Ben, but accountability for those crooks. Blatant case of lawfare against Ben. Brian called Crystal the day of the takeover the next day, and a few days later she wasn't answering him. So I'm going to refrain from like a full judgment, but it is, I've expressed before that, like, I find it weird that she didn't pay immediately when the money got into the account, and then calculate it and then paid him off. Like, so I think there's some business negligence, but she's at least said like she would own up to it. Like if there was any misplaced practice or bad business practice, she'll own up to it and be the first to apologize. At least she's done that, you know. So yeah, but it looks like there's a lot of blame to be put in, not just the culprits that we are used to. But yeah, I've listened to you on a few casts now, and I don't understand why you are not going after Joshua and Johnson, Brandon Best. I think you think they have the best law firm in Tampa or whatever, but these guys have never been weaker. Okay, look, these guys are dishonest. They are playing a game that, unless you are willing to be dishonest, is almost an unwinnable game, especially for me. I've pointed out before, first of all, lawyers, they do not care. If you got the money, then they'll defend you. It doesn't matter if you're a criminal or not. Like, allegedly. It doesn't matter who you are. As long as you have the money, they'll defend you, even if you're in the wrong, because you hired them. That's your right. First one, I couldn't pay, so they couldn't represent me. Second one, I didn't have any money, and this is already a year of trying to work with lawyers, and I was left with nothing, absolutely nothing. Like, do you guys understand that? Like, it's not like when I say nothing, I had a few grand in the bank account. No, it was freaking zero. Like, I was getting paid $19 an hour, and I was working, trying to get other jobs and everything like that, and I still, like, pregnant wife, and then baby is born, and like that costs a lot of money. Like, a lot of surprised expenses happen when you have your third kid, when you have a brand new baby that you will never be able to calculate. And then by the year mark, practically, when I was working with the lawyers, like I've said this before, I get a letter saying that it's now a conflict of interest because they represent somebody in Bricks and Minifigs in the law firm. They never told me who, and I'm saying, like, it's quite a coincidence. I'm not saying that they knew that I was trying to go after them, but yeah. But again, it's an illusion that Joshua Johnson, Brandon Best are weaker. I've said these guys have done a really good job at hiding at this point. They're not weaker, man. They are despicable creatures. All right? Remember, Matt and Ammon hired them. They didn't hire Bricks and Minifigs. They were hired by Bricks and Minifigs. So they got some nefarious bullcrap up their sleeve. Most of all the, I think almost every single big accusation against Ben has come from Joshua and Brandon. I could be wrong about that, but they're the ones that, like, dude. And that's the other thing, man. Like, you're going to push certain human beings that already not right in the head to what end? Because, okay, like, this is how I feel. Like, with my experiences in life, there's some human beings that when you push that and they feel like they don't care anymore and have nothing to lose, like, it's not, like, words and paper are not going to matter. Like, it's going to get physical. It's going to be a problem. And I do not trust definitely Joshua Johnson to keep a cool head and not do something that requires 16 rounds with, you know. But it's not that I don't have the money to go after these guys. Don't have the time for sure. And I can't put my family through that again. I'm not trying to absolve them and like not trying to get justice for them, but like, this is what I can do, is speak about it. This is all I could do. Like, that's, I don't have the money, man. And honestly, I don't really believe in the system, in the court system. I've seen so many bad people get away with a lot of bad things, and but I do believe that justice prevails, and it might not prevail in the legal way, it might not prevail in the emotional way, but I think spiritually, ethically, and sometimes physically it will prevail. I think karma's a thing and all that. So I will do everything I believe in my power that I can do. All right. Sean Games drunk if you cross the comedian cross. All right. Someone tracked down the U-Haul receipt. That collection is worth a lot more now, probably. I could see our LOL. I know there's some more I want to double check, but I'm glad to learn about the history. That's where legal comes into void things. Another ex-owner in Ohio did an interview about their store and its closing. Now, my man, you are a Lego maniac. Hell yeah. And you definitely know your stuff. Thank you. Ohio interview where? Damn, dog, respect. That's not assuming your lease is 100% actionable, bro. Use this momentum to clean your world up. There's so much goodwill right now. You can definitely get this done on contingency. Like, what do you mean? Like, the lease, like, the guy already helped me out, the landlord. Well, what do you mean? Like, is there something that you meant to say differently? Brains so F ham. I ran a collectible shop in Maryland called Second Chance Toys. Dude, my favorite places are like mom and pop shops that are collectible toys. Like, man, it's the best. What Bam is afraid of is Brian countersuing, and then this discovery, what you were talking about earlier, is forensic accountant. They go in and connect those dots. The U-Haul receipt was just located using the rental agreement ID number. The timing of the pickup, return mileage, and Eugene store employees' statements show that Brandon took the Legos that night. Ooh, and I lost y'all. Shirtless equals subscriptions. Yes, it does. I have. Bro, I finished that video for you. Sick. Send it. I'll check it out. I sued my dad for being too awesome. Yeah. Okay, I think I found where I am again. Sorry, like, again, I'm new to like having a chat. I like you guys. So I will be reading Korean Jesus ain't got time for yours. Hey, I married a Korean wife. You could have some time for me, all right? You have to have morals. You saying I don't have morals, dude? How goes the battle? Have you considered reaching out to any of the law tubers to see if they would be willing to find pro bono representation to sue BAM? I didn't ask for any pro bono stuff. I reached out to a few law tubers if they want to have a conversation, or I said in their chat, like, just reach out to me when they did a live stream or so. I messaged them in the ways I knew how. But so far, none have like. They're also, if they're law tubers, they're also lawyers, right? So they're probably busy. So I can understand if it's gonna take them time, or if they don't see a benefit. So it's fine. But yeah, Ethics Based in Logic is by Eric Higa. By the way, love your freaking profile pic. It's awesome. Is Matt just as slimy as Ammon and just hides it better? I get the feeling that Matt might be in the dark in some things, and we're gonna see what Ammon hid from. Because here's the thing with dishonest people, they also hide things from other dishonest people that they are associated with or work with. So I don't know, but I do think if you're gonna say hierarchy for me, with my personal experience of douchebaggery, is Joshua, and then Brandon and Ammon are equal, and then Matt. That's the hierarchy of douchebaggery. So, but that's from my experience. From the public's opinion, I think right now it's Ammon is top douche, and then Josh and Matt are big queers, but like Matt's slightly under, and then Brandon, because nobody's talking about Brandon, which is an insane thing to say. Like, we should be talking about that pathetic freaking buffoon. If you have nothing but your word as a man, you have to keep it and stand up for those principles. Yes, and that's what I'm trying to do in the best way I can. They need to be exposed. I will keep talking about it, but the Lego tubers need to speak up way more often. And I'm going to praise Lego Empire, or is it? Yeah. Let me make sure it's actually him. Who I'm praising. Yeah, Lego Empire. I think he's the Lego YouTuber that's really been pushing more than from what I've seen other YouTubers. I don't doubt there's more out there, but it's not enough. We need way more. Yeah, how many shots did y'all get up to? 6 or 7. Great question. I'm hoping Relic can eventually join a class action lawsuit against BAM and that chatter. I want that chatter. Jack Mormon means that you are a member, but you don't follow all of the rules. Like, for example, the word of wisdom. You might break that by being an alcoholic. But, dude, it's funny, like, these slang terms, because it just means you're a human being. Like, you could be part of any religion and then, like, have issues with certain rules or certain commandments. It just means you're a human being. The important thing is for you to work on it and want to progress. And progression is steps. It isn't one day you're good and one day you're bad. Like, no, overcome stuff, and that's if you want to. It's mainly about your relationship with God. That's the important thing. I try not to judge people who just because they sin differently than me, you know, because I still screw up. I'm gonna keep screwing up. That's just life. But yeah, I appreciate taking the time to do this. One more follow-up question. Do you know what happened with Adam and Bam before you stepped in? Was there a fallout? Very big fallout. There was. Adam is not a good guy. Adam Vangness is a solid dude. Adam Schmick, you should just be wary. You know, just like, you know, when I met Brandon, it's wolf in sheep's clothing. You would have never guessed he was a wolf. You would have never guessed this is somebody who's trying to destroy you, who has nefarious reasons for the things they do. And you would think they were like some of the nicest people in the world. So, yeah, I don't know how much I can actually speak. Like, I'm not bound by any contract or anything, but the guy is like, he's not right in the head. Like, he threatened an employee of mine just because he worked at Bricks and Minifigs. You know, I know like more deeply the reason why, but like I don't know how right in the head he is. Like he's definitely got some anger management issues. Like most of his spots, because he's moved around different stores, his store, different places. All of the offices were remodeled by his fist. So yeah. Not bad. Trina, I have a glass of pint now and then not an alky, but I love my female friends from the church. Yeah, you do. Can you explain how a layaway affects your inventory? Like, what happens in the POS when you mark a set for a layaway? I never did layaway. I thought it was insane. I had one older woman asked about layaway once, and that's it. But since I never did it, I don't even think there was a spot in the POS system to do layaways. But before layaways, how they worked at like Kmart and stuff, it's like, all right, you pay, but then if you miss a payment in the next month, then we don't give you your money back. So that's what I thought. It was a nice thing for Crystal to do, is like, oh, if you don't pay, then we just give you the money back and we put it back on the shelf. To me, that's terrible. It's like, when you have money to pay, like you'll buy it, because expensive sets, depending on your area, if they don't move, it's gonna take way longer if they're not on the shelf. You know, so I think that business practice was very, how do I put it, retarded. Yeah, like I would never do layaway. Like that's why businesses stop doing that practice, because it's more so to help somebody. It's more like out of your heart to do a layaway, but layaway is never been good business practice. Like, yeah. Your store looked awesome, dude. I felt so bad when I saw it. I helped build Second Chance Toys, so I know how hard all that work was, and it really sucks they took that from you. Yeah, and what was great about the build for the second location of mine, was that not only my friends and employees, but my family, like, we built it together and really made it our own, but still was like, we didn't try to take it away from the franchise. Like, it was still Bricks and Minifigs and everything, but we really like put our flair to it. We really like put love into it, and I have great memories putting it together. Yeah, my mom is still pissed about the situation, but yeah. Good grief, Relic has boomer brain. Yeah, man. I do. I was over it and forgot about it. Just thought it might help you. Raid. And they're like, I don't think you even know there can be legal reason to void everything. LLC and franchises, and that is what people need to understand. No, that's true. I know this. Again, who are you going against? Are they honest people? Like, how are things voided? Can they find some way to make it unvoidable, or to put it back into a different status after it's been void? Totally understand. Like, again, if you're dealing with dishonest people, they're gonna be doing things dishonestly. And you know what I mean? Like for instance, right now, I think with the backlash, it depends on what's written in the franchise agreement. With the backlash, I think if all the owners got together and like, we don't believe in this brand no more, I think all their contracts could be void, and they could take away the non-competition agreement and everything, and they could all rebrand it and keep their clientele and the store alive without it being Bricks and Minifigs anymore. They just have to get new LLCs and get a new name for the business, and it will be like their last name Bricks or something, and a new logo. I think that could happen with this backlash, especially very, very public backlash. Any of these guys that prosecute him, they have to know they will be committing political suicide. To be fair, I think the Lego content creator doesn't want to get sued by BAM, so they're keeping their sides. Man, F them. F that, dude. Getting sued for speaking your opinion is insane. And it's public. Like, you can't just get sued for, like, then YouTube wouldn't exist. Reviews wouldn't exist. You know, like, they can. Like, if there's a guy on YouTube that has a huge following and doesn't understand getting sued for you just saying things when you have no contract with the person, that they're lying to you if they're worried about getting sued. Trust me, they are. Unless they had an actual agreement with Bricks and Minifigs or something. The Brickless interviewed from another owner in Ohio about his store closing. Yeah, exactly the time frame to key some sets. Live show she is a law tuber that covered the MMF. I saw that. Values didn't account for any of the minifigs. Yeah, so that's the other thing. Like, minifigs go for a lot. The Crystal seems genuine. Crystal came off kind of ding dong, but I think she has a good heart. Yeah, good heart doesn't run businesses though. There was only 1 month not paid out. Brian came in on the 15th and they took the store on the 14th. She was trying to print out the post receipts to pay him when Brandon called Kai McAllister, but till this day, Brian never received the rest of that payment. So she has the receipt, she had the knowledge. You see where it gets, like, weird? Josh going to take that on? Yes. Just finished watching. But, like, here's the thing. When you take over a store, when there's a hostile takeover, they can't take over the bank account. So if they have money that was supposed to be Brian's, it's still Brian's money. And it wouldn't be Bricks and Minifigs needing to pay that particular amount. You know what I mean? Just finished watching the video latest. Definitely need to hear what she came up with from the one from 3 days ago. Worth listening, not gonna lie, to see if it sounds, the doings familiar with people. O.J. Simpson had money in the first case is why he won. Later, after he lost everything, he couldn't win anything. LOL. People reap what they sow. But he was still out. He was still out and living life and breathing, unlike his victims. Shifting the blame from a corporation who controlled the POS, the franchise that got kicked out of the store, is an interesting take. What do you mean? I'm not shifting the blame. I'm just saying that, like, there's details that we are not getting. I'm not shifting any blame. Both, like, there's blame, but there might be some blame with Chris as well, which she admitted that she might have a part to blame, but not on the entire thing. She has a part to blame on her own negligence that she will own up to if there is any. That's it. I'm just pissed that they did what they did to you and got the same feeling with what they're doing to Ben and the OG owner of the $200,000 sets. Yeah. I'm just glad, like, they found an opportunity to do this story. Demonic, we call it evil for a reason. Do BAM franchisees follow laws similar to what pawn shops follow? And there are strict laws with buying and selling stolen goods, right? Yeah. Not as strict as pawn shops, but I would say some little things slightly more strict. Like, we do have to report if there is, like, live ammunition in a bulk of Legos and stuff like that. And I think it also depends on state. But yeah, like, if you actively, that's why I was, like, a little bit worried about M&R Productions after the CoffeeZilla video came out, because he still hasn't spoken on it. But if you actively know that you are purchasing stolen goods, you're facing big boy time. Like, that's a felony, you know. And I could also link into conspiracy. Emin made up his own carp also. I may not agree with Crystal's politics, but I see her genuinely true heart, and I am sure she's learned the lesson of proper bookkeeping. She takes accountability and BAM lies. That's the difference. Yes, I agree with that. I hated you hear you talk yourself into a negative outcome before it's even begun. I'm going to hook you up with a lawyer and its community will get it funded. They can't handle a two-front war right now. Maybe maybe they can't handle it. I don't know. And I thank you for that, man. But like, brother, you have no idea the stress that happens just by being in the process. Like for instance, you see the videos of Ben, right, and Brian, but we don't know what their health is like right now. We don't know if they're having sleepless nights, if they're having nervous breakdowns, what's going on, because this is serious stuff. And again, I do have to look out for my family, and if I feel if there's a lawyer that could provide me with confidence that we could win something and everything is solid, then great. But I am not looking to capitalize on damage or winnings. I want Reckless Ben and Brian Mansell. I want like the truth to be told. I want justice to prevail, and I think right now they're doing the work to destroy themselves for me. Bam is, so this is almost like therapeutic for me watching all this happen. Like, does that make sense? I don't need to win that money, and I think they have a war on multiple fronts, because I think other people are gathering together to sue Bam, allegedly. Also didn't mean anything by that. And question, what if Coffee doesn't know about your story? Anything's possible, right? I guess I'm just hoping someone reaches out to Coffee. That's all, friend. Somebody told me they sent a video of mine to Coffee, and again, he's probably getting bombarded by other stories. Like the YouTube, like the internet's huge. We don't know what other stories. I haven't watched every single story about this, but like we see it when people are actually speaking about bricks and minifigs, about like Reckless Ben and the situation particularly. But we don't always see like somebody like, this is the BAM store owner, and then I've watched some live streams where there's a ex store owner or something, and it didn't do as much as I thought it would, their story, because Josh and Brandon are involved, or like it was very in-house kept, like it was very procedural, damaging and whatnot. It wasn't as personal, it wasn't as like thought out and as destructive. Not that it needs to be a good story or to have good connection, but I didn't see many store owners that were screwed like Crystal and Brian Mansell and Ben. And like I think the stories should at least shed a light on the actual case, on the actual people that are going to be involved in the case. So yeah, I do hope like there are more, like, it's kind of weird to say like, oh, I hope there's more stories out there. Like I kind of hope there's less. I hope there's less people that got screwed. Like I don't want to hear like 1 million people got screwed just to make the story bigger. Like I hope some people found a way to not get screwed. I unfortunately was one that got screwed. But yeah, amen, brother. God knows, brother. When it's time for your judgment, you will get what you're in. Yeah, hopefully I'll learn something good. I ain't no saint, all right? He's got more evidence of corruption from AFPD. Yeah, probably. They are such bastards. I hate that happened to you. I'm glad you're speaking out, and I'm glad to see their slime exposed to this extent. They need to take responsibility, and if they lose this case with Ben, they will. You'll have a better outcome than you imagine. You deserve justice. Keep going, Relic. You're a good dude, and I'm excited to see your channel continue to grow. That landlord was a saint for real. Yeah, it was a shock to me. Trust me. Like, I'll admit I cried a little bit. I ain't gonna front. Dude, I remember, I remember it, man. It was it meant a lot, and starting from zero was never my intention, but it beats starting from just destruction, you know. So like, sorry guys. It like yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't have his contact anymore, but I don't know how much he knows how much it meant to me. You know, like it's like the biggest thing I've gone through, and I hope I never go through something like that again. It was big. All right, like it's like I don't always say things properly, and I sometimes misspeak and whatnot, but you know, I try to make sure I could really put it out there and say what's on my mind and how I felt, and like really try to let you guys know on the story. But yeah, it was one of the greatest things to happen. So yeah, it was like will be forever grateful for that, for my parents teaching me about always being honest and always owning up to your mistakes, and always trying to be better, no matter how much it hurts, and through those teachings other people were able to see that. And so it's yeah. But anyways, yeah, and I got 3 beautiful kids and a wife. I also still believe in me, so that's the best part too. And I was able to relieve because here's the thing, like all I thought about was how much stress my wife was having, because dude, we like obviously like we're gonna have fights and stuff, and it's gonna come from a place of insecurity, right? Because I promised her security, and I don't think I even told her right away when I got the call from the landlord. I think it was the day I was gonna go clean the store that I gave her the story, because I was like, I don't need her to. I need to try to fix this before before this affects her, because like she was 9 months pregnant, man. Like, you think I'm gonna be like, oh, I know we're having this baby, but also, we might owe $500,000 on top of whatever the hospital's gonna make us pay. So yeah, it was super. I had to keep it all to myself. I had to keep it all in. Yeah, it was a freaking difficult. It felt like an eternity. It felt like forever. It felt like it was never, like I could never get out of it. Like some days it still feels like I'm buried a little bit, but I'm working on things and working on YouTube and getting out there. But yeah, civil rights and First Amendment YouTube communities have been covering recklessben's story pretty well for the past few days. Those communities have extremely large followings, and that's great. That's great, man, and that's awesome, and I love seeing it. But again, there is a power into the specific communities, and when you have Lego and getting involved with the same communities and all of them connecting, those Lego YouTubers, they will have a great impact where other Bricks and Minifigs owners can possibly take action against bad business practices from the corporation. So I think it will have an even greater impact with somebody with slightly less following than these other big YouTubers, but are Lego tubers, right? Look up American Fort Police swatted me. Swatted you? Oh, or like a video called Swatted Me. Yeah. If Bam loses suit against Ben Mansell, big if, then other suits against them will be more likely to succeed or be settled. I don't know if it's a big if. We as the public, we're seeing certain things. What is the court seeing? Are the courts even aware of the social media stuff, or they're all information, all they know, it's a PR nightmare, and they're not even looking it up? Okay, like that's a fair question. We don't know what they are seeing, how informed they are about the media scandal. They probably will see the videos and they'll probably not think much of it. Who knows? Because how they react is different than we react. How you've reacted is different than I reacted. A lot of things are up in the air, and I really hope they don't lose. But this is not about, unfortunately, the courts is not about truth. It's about proving right or wrong. And again, they're playing a game against some people who don't play a fair game. That's a very difficult game to win. Okay, the law tubers at least have contacts or contacts with contacts. In your that red thing next to you, very Star Wars. Is it custom made? Yeah, this one right here. I'm gonna have to send videos to somebody else because my computer can't take me speaking and videos being put up because it'll just lag. But maybe I'll send it to Echo Base and they could show you all the videos of like me and my dad building and fixing up the lights and him building my like Star Wars counter. And we never really got 100% finished, but yeah. And then this is my sister got for me. It's actually a Death Star light. But this was, I have two of these. It's big. It was in the entrance of the store. So when you walked in the store, it was all black, but it was like a black Death Star entrance. And then you get in the store and it was solid. Bam loses suit. More likely to see it settled. In your experience, did JJ or B also bring a U-Haul to your location? Considering that there were Legos left in your shop, did they leave only cheap ones and just took the high value? Yeah. So they didn't bring a U-Haul right away, right? Because they were, so this is what they did. Okay. They came assess the store and they're not going to drive from Florida all the way to Oregon, right? But a few times throughout the time I was there, after they took it over, after they stole the store, they sent, like, they had the manager like early in the morning or as soon as we opened, we'd had to gather like pretty much the best sets that new in box that were there. A lot of them were Star Wars sets or like Disney Castle, whatever it is, and we had to ship it out to their Eugene, Oregon location. And the one of the claims allegedly was that it will sell better over there. But like sometimes it happened where we just received that trade the day before, and then they see it in the system, like send that to their location. So that did happen, and then it was only after their name was off the lease that they decided to close down the store that 3 guys from corporate came down and shut down the place and got a U-Haul and shoved everything in there. But yeah, they pretty much just took the highest. They never took any of the minifigures or used sets, only until the last day when they shoved things in the U-Haul. Ammon 100% does Matt dirty all the time. Yeah, Dad taught it all. BJC is uncovering an interesting paper trail. Amen. Brandon Best is to do research, and he was the smartest by not engaging with Ben. His house is also way nicer than Josh's. Yeah, like not all of them stayed doing the same thing together. They all eventually found their way back to each other if they knew each other before. Okay, and what you can, it is enough. No one will ever do the same thing. The cop, Lieutenant Adamson, was that the one with like the very soft voice? Tries to silence Ben from a cell phone recording and hurt Ben's arm. Has a history of questionable behavior. Watch lackluster video. One cool thing I thought about all this was the community is backing Ben in Utah. I have a lot of friends within the Mormon Church that like they say that a lot of Mormon members are like rallying up and like saying like get like these guys don't represent the church, and like we are disgusted with their behavior and stuff like that, and people are going to city council meetings and saying that like the American Fork Police Department needs to be investigated and everybody involved needs to resign or be fired. Yeah, it's to you, and it hurts my heart that these people did this to you and all other people involved. You're an honorable man. Thank you. Your mom raised an incredible young man. Yeah, I hope, like my parents are amazing. They deserve so much more, and I want to give them so much more than I have, and than I have given them. But like they truly are the best. Like you got like, if anybody ever gets a chance to meet them, you'll know what I mean, man. They are phenomenal people, and they'll tell it like it is. Especially my mom, who she has zero filter. She's awesome. But by the way, anyone noticed that Kai McAllister is barely talked about, even though he threatened people over the phone? He definitely needs more looked into. Yeah, he might. Backstabbers are the worst, and JJ definitely is a backstabber. Yeah. The Kai McAllister, he could be just an employee that was told to say a certain way and he believed that was the right thing to do. It could be that. It could be also that he's a piece of garbage. I don't know. But you're working for a corporation. He doesn't have skin in the game like the other four. Doesn't own. He works in the corporate office. He believes in the company that he's working for. It wasn't cool the way he did it, but I have no idea how much he can actually be involved where it matters. I have no idea. So we did do a layaway second chance toys, but only for our regular customers. And that makes sense because there's already a relationship there. Crystal Big Heart kind of business. Yeah. Again, I haven't seen all her business practice, but from what we've seen, I'm not. I wouldn't have done it those ways. Just to put it nicely. Isn't someone else in Kai's position now? Probably. Well, it's your store looked awesome. Thank you. Does Relic follow Star Wars? I follow Star Wars Theory. I like him. I've never talked to him, but I like him a lot. Especially since like I think there was a period where he was just too Canadian nice. You know what I mean? Like I was like, you gotta freaking lock in and go hard on Dave Filoni for sure and Disney, because that like was way too nice. I think I unsubscribed to him when Rise of Skywalker came out. And then I subscribed back to him when I think he was a little more based. But it seems like a solid dude. And layaway 10-50% down is probably an okay practice. As long as you keep the down pay, if the default the next month makes minifigs and bricks, we don't steal from anyone. Is it true? Is it true Christ couldn't refund email inventory anything after they tossed her out? Chris. Don't know if that's true. Don't know. But yeah, they can't sue everyone. That's why we all got to keep this story going by talking about it. Yeah, a huge class action would be the dream. Relic, Miss Relic, and all the Relic children need golden teeth. I just imagine all my kids just with like smiling, golden teeth. Yeah. Oh, chaos that could never be able to happen. Now they cross over with that, and that's yeah. That's the other thing. Like if they do come after me, I don't know how I'll react, and I don't think it will be. I am very aware of my capabilities as a human, and how easy we can change. I don't know how appropriate I would be. I think if they came after me, I don't know what I'd do, man. But we're not gonna handle it with just words. So I don't recommend coming after me, because if I have to protect my kids, you best believe I will destroy planets to protect them. Not get the receipts. I believe she claimed they never got control. Allegedly, by the way. What I would do. I believe she claimed they never got control of the bank account, that the bank account was under BAM's control when they signed the franchise agreement, and the royalty and rent was paid out. That's weird. If that is the case, the credit cards probably went into that account, and she was paying out Brian from cash that came into the store. Just speculating. Never considered that. Hey, does BAM use the vendor Orion by chance? No. Well, maybe. I don't know. Because they always got a lot of vendors. Like my favorite vendor of theirs was Tricked Out Bricks, but like when I left, I think they had over 200 vendors. Maybe I know it was like way too long of a list for me to look at. Oh, Brick Arms was also a really cool vendor that they had. That's where your morality and character comes in. I used to have people bring bags of Lego sets, all the same ones, so obviously they were stolen. I used to tell them to kick rocks. Yeah, where's the bird, Bam? Where is it? By Bingo Brew Tea. I think they got, and Chaos Inc., I think they got the account back. It's all murky, like Relic said. Basic business skills were lacking by everyone in this case. Yeah, it's insane that even the owners of the freaking company had, like, looks like they had zero business skills. The stress is one thing, but imagine you get enough out of it to pay off that mortgage and open a store again. It's nice to imagine. I'm not saying they crushed me to believe that can't happen, but I don't necessarily believe that is the way I can make that happen. While F is in a third-party inventory service involved with a hostile takeover, I don't freaking know. 100%. Technically, Josh and Brandon were the third-party inventory service. Technically. Allegedly. For Ben to sign up the state lottery raffle, Ben need to sign up his nonprofit church of Golden Plunger Cross, and Church Scientology sucks during Lego giveaways. The corrupt judge that's taking the case still doesn't sit right with me, because he could easily send Ben down no matter what. I heard the judge was actually solid, and it was just like he was accused of things in the past, but I don't know. I did not look that deep into the judge. But it's from what I've heard other law tubers say about the judge when they looked into the cases, seemed like that he was very fair. And I haven't seen all law tubers, but a lot of the ones that I saw said that. Coffee said he's done with this investigation. Yeah, so that's fine. LLCs are easy to set up. Yep, pattern shed a light and best of luck. That's been on my mind too. I can't imagine the stress Ben is trying to cope with through all this. The charges, the gag order, the vowing to cover all legal fees for his friends. I started my first S Corp, one step up from the LLC in the early 90s in Delaware. Hello there. Sorry so late. No, you're good, man. I'm here. We're chilling. I'm reading the chat. I'm actually having a lot of fun reading the chat. I'm still planning to talk about my feelings about the Lego tubers, but I'm having fun, and I hope you guys are having fun too. The most appropriate time for a man to cry. I didn't cry, man. I held it back. All right. Police swatted me, no results. I didn't cry. Let that be on record. Well, I did cry at the time. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you choked up with that comment, brother. Didn't expect to get choked up with that comment. It kind of brought the memories back of how I felt. Cause like even at the interviews with Echo Base Network and Camelot, I was as I was saying it, like the memory was there, but like the feelings didn't flood in like it did now. And sometimes I think it just happens that way. And I just remembered like the freaking void, like the absolute abyss I felt. Like I would see people, but like I can't remember a sunny sky. And it was in the middle of summer. It was June or July. And it's like the memory of like hope wasn't there. I just remember the absolute emptiness of no future that I felt at the time. Because like it's really hard. At least it was for me, because I always, even in business, relationships, I always like write down things I could be better at, things I screwed up on, and how I could improve, and so I could keep a record. And I try to be honest with myself, and I just couldn't. I'm like, I didn't do anything nefarious. I didn't do anything dishonest for somebody to come try to destroy me like this. Like, I think it would have been different if I was actually a dishonest person and I was a piece of garbage, and they were like, let's try to screw him over. It'd still be not a right way to do it, but like it would make a lot of sense for somebody who's seeking revenge. But I'm like, I didn't do any of this, But you probably thought you and your family's life was over after all this happened to you. I understand why it's making you emotional. I get it, brother. It's not that I thought it was over. It's like I thought I failed my family. Like, I knew I would be able to, work, get a job. That never left my mind. But it's like, oh, now I have to work for I don't know how many years just to start again. And I've made my wife a lot of promises, and I'm not fulfilling those promises. And I still haven't felt like I have fulfilled those promises. And it's almost like, oh, I can never get out ahead. And this is going to be the rest of my life. It's going to be trying to do something right, crappy people screwing me over, and then starting again. And like, it felt like that was just going to be the rest of my life. For something lighter, what is your favorite Lego set? Mine is the original Blacktron Renegade. My favorite is the ice base. I forgot of the system Lego set. I forget what it's called. It had like the ice base plate and like the orange. I don't know what it's actually called. Actually, no. My favorite is the original. There was this boat that my dad got me. It was it was just like the original Ninja system stuff before Ninjago was a thing, and it was just a boat this big. And I still have yet to find that set again, but it was my favorite set as a kid. But yeah, that's my favorite one. But I've gotten choked up and teary-eyed over both you and Ben's stories, and trust me, I can spot a genuine person. Thank you. I'm not an actor. I'm pretty sure I can act, but I'm not that good. To get mercy in your darkest hour because you showed honesty is a beautiful thing, man. And that emotion is authentic. It's real. Did you see any U-Haul trucks when you worked there? The day it closed, I saw the U-Haul truck they stayed there for like a few days with the U-Haul truck. But yeah, and I did get a message from a store that said that they claimed that the Lutz location wanted to send them sets to help out their store. And I did not know that they labeled it that way to another store owner. How are your parents reacting to all of this attention? Are they still pissed, or is this a bit of justice? They don't know. They don't know this is happening. I even mentioned it to him, and my dad's like, yeah, that's right. And I told him that I got the phone. I told my dad, trust me, like my mom, like her health is good, but it's not great. I just don't want to add any more stress to it. That like, hey, I'm receiving phone calls that like threatening to sue me for, to ruin my life again, by the same people who tried to ruin it before. Yeah. But yeah, my father is dude. He never really swears, and man, you just see how angry he got, man. Really bad joke. $500,000 baby. That's a good joke, actually. He is. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so my youngest son, his name is Rohan. Yeah. And unfortunately, with the Odyssey coming out, my first son, his name is Achilles. I understand, raised on 2 on my own, injured 1 time, laid off. Never know what's next. Yeah, you never know. Never freaking know. I've seen Lego TUBERS from all around the globe. And I'm catching up, guys. Trust me, I'm catching up covering this. China, Sweden, Germany, Austria. It's gone global. Heck yes, it should. Oh, sorry. Just banned financial analysis part 5. This guy got into American Fork Police. Also, plot twist. I think Ben got the squiggly signature from Josh that lines up with frauds of docs sent to the Eugene laundry store. My pattern brain suspect. That's why they were getting signatures, and Josh said he just scribbled something. Oh man, that sounds like theft. 100%. Guy claimed to be a whistleblower from Eugene. Says they got sets from Salem. Yeah, I saw that. It was in the CoffeeZilla video. They steal the inventory. Slime balls. Soft voice is the police chief. It is the guy who grabbed Sheldon's phone and Ben's arm. The one leading the charge for charges. Go looking for stalking and see what you get there. Apollo the Derg. Here in Utah, and yeah, LDS and non-LDS are all upset about American Fork police dick faces. We have to live with that corruption. Also, damn. Also, the dude cut down the sign. I stole number 2 LFG. Christopher Latcher. I watched that city council meeting. I loved how they did the Pledge of Allegiance during the meeting and prayed. I wish every town was like that. And several people stood up for Ben. I just want that. I just want that to catch up. I'm going to smoke a bowl. My bad, dude. I'm having fun. It's darn sad virtually all the folks involved with this family went to BYU. Like, again, it's a college. And here's one thing about BYU. My wife went to BYU. All right. She went there before when she went to BYU when she was an atheist. All right. And she eventually converted to Christianity after studying for 3 years. But like BYU, again, is just a school. It is just a school. There are professors there that are liberal a-holes. They do the whole freaking Transformers debacle, the whole freaking LGBTQ plus IA bullcrap. They do all of that stuff, and it isn't about facts. That there are professors there that are teaching things that have nothing to do with you progressing in your life and getting a career. All right, and you're gonna have students there that suck, that are breaking the rules. You're gonna have students there that are cool and are not breaking the rules. You're gonna have good students that are LDS and good students that are not LDS. It's just, that's it. It's a freaking school. Yeah. And again, it's a crap hole. I've met so many, when my wife, when we were dating, she was going to BYU in Utah, Provo at the time, right? And I couldn't stand most of the people. Every time I picked her up at the college, I was like, I hate most of these people. They have nothing up here. They just regurgitate what they learn and they don't study. They're just full-blown retards. And yeah, I don't have a lot of respect for people who go to college and don't have an opinion for themselves, that don't do outside studies. I have respect for people that have their own mind, regardless if you went to school or not. But yeah, my sister is at BYU right now, and I'll say Utah does have a lot of white collar crime and MLM stuff. Some folks just aren't honest. I think there is an industry to take naive return missionaries and get them into D2D sales bro jobs. Yeah, door to door. Yeah, there is. It's the whole police department trying or not serving papers to Josh, a Mormon thing. Basically, a lower rank Mormon taking orders from a high ranking one. Josh was high ranking. He's not. There's no ranks. There's no ranks, man. It's called the High Council, but it doesn't mean you have authority over people. You have a certain authority to bless people's lives in a certain way, but it's all service. It's no high ranks. Okay, there have been, if you want to label it high, I've known people who had the calling of bishop, and then if you want to look at it here, their calling was nursery, taking care of the little kids right after. But it's no rank. It's just different callings. You have different authorities. So it's regardless, there is some bullcrap happening. but I don't think it has to do with religious reasons. I just think that like they might have met through the religion, and they believe in each other or whatever, and there's some corruption and they're not doing the right thing. Like American Fort Police Department is definitely doing shady bull crap that is not legal, in my opinion. Definitely counting down to the 22nd to see what happens with the temporary restraining order. I hope it's rescinded, and damn straight you protect your kids, brother. This is a video of a guy dressed up as Darth Vader and went into a BAM store. I don't believe it's a Mormon thing. It's appeal to authority of having a CEO on the phone and Joshua bullying them as local complaining about out-of-town YouTubers is just bias. In Utah and asked for the Legos back. Search Lee, I investigated bricks and minifigs. This is by Superflorin12. Third party, according to a contract, I am thinking can't be anyone from Corp. It was claimed that Josh is from Corp, so he can't do the audit. Well, that might be why Brandon is there, because Brandon is partners with Josh at the store and multiple businesses. But Brandon, I don't think, had an office in corporate. So then I think Brandon could have acted as third party, because Brandon's the one that did the inventory. So and that's all speculative, but if what you're claiming is true, like that would make sense. I can see why you want to stay far away now that you are out of their spider web. That is the safest for your family for sure. I'm sorry, it is a brother's thing. Maybe all Masons, maybe mermaids. Can't deny when it's everyone. Yeah. Hey man, I just uploaded the complete video of your full story with BAM onto a Google Drive. It has clips from your live streams the other day. Been grinding to get into you ASAP. So like, what do you want me to do with it? Like, if you have a channel, you should post it on your channel. Like, you put in the effort. I'm very appreciative that you did that, but I don't want to take credit for anybody's work. I'll definitely take a look at it, and if you want my opinion, definitely give it. But I think if you have a channel, you should put it on your channel. Yeah, but okay. Maddie Sweet, Relic, any IP Lego hasn't covered. What do you mean? They did Star Trek Enterprise D and Transformers. The only ones I can think of they haven't done yet is Stargate and a proper Doctor Who set, Night Dimensions. They haven't done Game of Thrones, which Megablocks did. They haven't done Halo, which Megablocks did. They just got the rights back for Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's see what they haven't done. Obviously, He-Man. There's many things that they haven't done. But like, if they really want to make money, I guarantee if they pick up Halo and just stick to like the trilogy and Reach, perfect. And ODST, obviously. Or just the Bungie era. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other IPs that Lego has never really picked up on. I was surprised that they picked up on Pokemon. They are picking up Yu-Gi-Oh! As of right now. I guess Beyblade never picked up on. Street Fighter, they never picked up. Mortal Kombat, they never picked up. Yeah, those are I guess the best ones in my head. I need a Lego vendor, but way too spendy. You can actually get a lot of bulk pieces. They're not like, there's not crazy weird pieces in that set, and you could build it, and you can actually just build it from scratch. Just like get the pieces. You could go on Bricklink and type in the vendor, and it will tell you every single piece and how many of those pieces you need. So you might have a lot of pieces laying around, and then all you need is the stickers. Or there are people that have certain machines that could do printed pieces that is just like Lego, and it's even better. I had a customer that he hated stickers, so he knew a guy who used to work for Lego that had an original printing, like official Lego machine, and then he would print the pieces and like charge people to get the piece that was originally meant for a sticker to be printed on. I saw like one guy had an ATOT, and all the stickers were actually printed pieces instead, and it looked sublime. It was awesome. Relic, any epic. I need Lego vendor. They made a Tron set. They did. They made 2, I think. But I think it was a Comic-Con exclusive. I can't remember. But still here for support. Heck yeah. We are letting you catch up. Yes. Thank you. Real. I am sure everyone would have your back. But I'm trying, brother. I have given what I can afford to both fundraisers and a little bit. Everyone goes a long way. Thank you. Thank you so much. LOL was chatting. Less to give. More time to catch up also. Yeah, I'm having fun as well. Glad you're all here. Truly pausing, chatting, and staying, listening to such sign of respect for you, and everyone sees it. Thank you. Your parents did an amazing job. That story you told about her and your 11-year-old self. Business adventure, LOL. She was 100% right. Yes, she was, man. And I felt it for like a month on my face. When Ben wins, not if, would Lego consider doing a bricks and minifigs set complete with Ben Schneider, etc.? No, not unless they're paid a lot. You really have to be a member of a church to understand those things. I go to a Baptist church, and everyone does what they can in an area that they feel a calling for. Yeah, that's nice. Like I did floor flyers, and kept the flower gardens up because I enjoyed it. Jeebus, what you said about Brandon being separate from corporate, that's such a mafia type insulating move. Yes, it is. You got a Tony Soprano. He's almost caught up. Wait a moment here. You do that. You do it out of your live for the church. Love, yeah. Is owning a band franchise really just easier and lucrative compared to owning your own store, branding, location? I'll answer that in a bit. I saw the AliExpress vendors for like $80. Don't do it. Tempting, not gonna lie. The pieces don't fit super well, and again, it ain't Lego. Don't just save up, man. It's good. You work hard for it. It's gonna feel better. You should be a party to a class action lawsuit. The other screwed over previous franchise. Pretty sure there are others. I am caught up. And to answer your question, the Digzagwent player 4159. Yes, it is easier. It's always going to be easier getting a franchise. Why? The brand already exists. The reputation is already there. They have a particular... by the way, I'll hold off reading any other chat for the end. Okay? If you guys want to keep chatting amongst yourselves. But the owning a franchise is always going to be easier. They have usually a marketing plan. I'm not saying that freaking Bricks and Minifigs did, but they're supposed to be a support. The owners are supposed to be a support, making sure that you don't run yourself to the ground, that you are going to they know how to build your customer base. They have certain tools to analyze your area. They're supposed to have all that stuff. So like, think about it this way. I think everybody really hears about opening a restaurant is the riskiest business there is, right? Because they fail the most. But that's a statistic of opening a brand new restaurant with a brand new name. Opening a franchise restaurant is way less risk, like by a long shot, because like they're very particular. Like you can't, like there are certain restaurants that it would be terrible owning a franchise, because they will fine you to like every bolt that is out of place, every food that doesn't look like the photos they sent. There are penny pincher franchises against their own franchisees, which is insane. Okay, because there's fine associated to, like, if you're doing things, because it's one thing to present an idea to your franchise, like, hey, what if we do things this way? And it's another thing to completely go against it and do something that's without informing them that you're trying something new. You know, but yeah, it's always gonna be cheaper because you it's kind of like if you see some random grocery store, you're gonna be like, oh man, that's interesting. But if you like hear Publix or an Albertsons or a Target open up, you're gonna be like, yeah, sweet, a Target's opening up closer to where I live, awesome. And then you're just gonna go there. But if you just see like a random grocery store opening up called the Luminate Fruits of the World, you're like, okay, I guess that's a grocery store. And never again, never a thought. So there's already like an added way for people to get there because they're already familiar with it, or at least even if they're not familiar with it in your state or area, there's going to be a familiarity with the business plan that they have to make that place grow. Okay. And they're going to have those things in place. So yeah, very hard to open your own thing, start your own brand, your own spot. And that's why they have non-competes, because now that you have the structure of how to make a place successful, they don't want you just shutting down your franchise so you can open your own place. So that's why. That's why it's they have the non-compete, or any company has the non-compete, right? But again, back to my little rant that I was doing in the beginning, and then I had fun reading all the chats. When you're, this is something even I, as somebody who doesn't have the biggest following in the world and loves YouTube, and I do take it seriously, even though I'm not the best at editing and whatnot. When you start talking about something, when you start going into certain areas of whether it's movie reviews, whether it's technological reviews, whether it's production of like entertainment, when there's negativity around those niches, like, you have a responsibility to speak up on it. You have a responsibility to inform the people, because it's also like your audience, you're making that connection of trust, right? So right now, I could tell you some people that I personally know that know about the story, that they unsubscribed to certain Lego YouTubers because they felt like they were being way too cowardly. They're like, man, this guy, I know that this guy or girl can speak so much more on this topic, but I don't know why they're not talking about it. I don't know why they're not helping the community understand, because that's why like a lot of YouTubers repeat some of the stuff, especially on live streams, is because they had 100,000 views on one video and then they put out the video about the exact same thing. It's two different audiences, but they repeat it because more people are coming to them at that time, at this new time. They're not going back and watching all the old videos. Like I had a friend of mine text me, and he was like, hey man, and I haven't talked to him for a few months just because life and stuff, or like 6-7 months. And hey man, like I was sent like these videos, and he didn't see me on the recklessben video yet, of when recklessben responded to the police department. I'm on there for like 5 seconds. He just said like, I just remember your story a little bit, and I was just thinking about you. I'm like, yeah, these are the guys that did this to me. And he's like, what? This is crazy. And he didn't know, and he was having people sending him videos, and then he just kind of caught up in the middle of it. He's like, man, this is so interesting. And he didn't even watch a recklessben video yet. Like, he's just was watching for a few days, and was like, oh, it made me think of you. I just wanted to reach out, see how you're doing. I'm like, dude, you have no idea how I've been doing. But yeah, so I think, like, even if they don't want to talk about it, because there's sometimes I don't want to talk about something. Like, I love DC, but because I'm here on social media, even if I have one viewer, I have a responsibility to that one viewer, because they're supporting me, to inform them of the direction James Gunn is going and what my opinion is, but also what deviates from the source material, what deviates from the true essence of a hero, and what this universe is entailing, and it's not just about opinion. It's also putting it out there so that somebody can make a better informed decision, right? And so these Lego YouTubers, they're doing themselves a disservice, but they're also not understanding the gravity of the situation. And it's not just about helping Ben, because I think out of the goodness of your heart, we should be talking about this, because I don't think, regardless of the outcome, I don't ever think Ben should go to jail for 20 years. That's insane. That, on that alone, you know that that the people at Bricks and Minifigs and Josh and Brandon are terrible people. You're willing to destroy somebody's life. You're gonna take it away. Not he won't have a life. And he is like us. We might see him as the reckless Ben, but he's just a dude trying to do something. Just a regular dude. All right? He got a camera and he has a certain skill and he's trying to do something, and now somebody wants to take that completely away and take away any freedom that is his right, because he didn't kill anybody. He didn't do anything to the illegal gravity. People have done things to children and not gotten 20 years, and they should be buried underneath a prison. And you're telling me this guy, because he spoke up and he tried to do the right thing and help a guy not get taken advantage of, and now you want to put him away for 20 years? That's insane. So, and all over toys, Lego. And so, and by the way, it would help people these YouTubers' channels so much. When do you ever hear about a Lego controversy? I think this is the first time on YouTube. Ever since YouTube's been open, I think this is the first Lego controversy that's actually big. Man, what the freak? Oh, freaking stupid. And again, these last few days, it has been quiet. It has been pretty dead. I see some of the same people commenting on Ben representing himself and some of the smaller news, but it's not just about news. I love the Echo Base edits, and they utilized, if you see Echo Base's newest video, they utilized Ben's story to also highlight somebody else who also got taken advantage of by somebody that was close to them. Go watch Echo Base Network's latest video about a different Star Wars collection or collector that was stolen from. I think sorry Echo Base, I think it's called The Dark Side of being a collector, or the collecting industry, or something like that. But great video, and it's kind of a reminder that unfortunately, most of the people who don't believe in us, who screw us over, are the ones closest to us, who we've had deep relationships with, and it's truly a betrayal. It's not just getting screwed over, right? So, I don't know what to expect, really, but I am really disappointed with the Lego community. I am very disappointed with the Lego community. Again, I'm going to keep pointing this out. I tried putting my story out there amongst the Lego YouTubers. I'm not gonna say which ones reached out. I'm not saying I reached out to all of them, but everybody I reached out to them, not one picked up the story. Not one wanted anything to do with it. The only one that wanted to do it wanted to get paid first, because they were losing an opportunity with Bricks and Minifigs. Look at them now, right? So, I put out, I have videos and live streams in my channel that I talk a little bit, and I don't go as hard as I've been going. I talk a little bit how I got screwed, and I don't go as hard as I've been going the last few weeks, but it didn't get any traction, and rightfully so. I didn't put out the story in its entirety. And I'm pretty sure I'm leaving a lot of details out because like I can remember like days where like this happened at 1 o'clock, then this happened at 2 o'clock, and there's so much more details I could put out. But it's like that thing. As soon as the stream ends, I remember all this stuff that I couldn't remember during the stream. But yeah, like I've talked about it before, but I didn't have like the story, right? And like I didn't never collab with another Lego YouTuber. But yeah, it's what up, Valhalla Waits? What up? We're just kicking it, man. Just kicking it. But yeah. And thank you. My favorite compliment ever is that I look like Clark Kent or reminiscent of Superman, and it's one of my favorite heroes. And I just need to get yoked. Just need to build up again. When I was, oh man, here let me see if I could show it here. I used to have a pretty good size on me. I used to bodybuild, not like compete or anything like that, but like I had a decent size. Here, let me see if I can focus. You guys see that? I need to get back to that size. Yeah, like I was like I think 190, 195. I think the biggest I ever got was like around 200, and I'm 5'8". But like I said this before, if you guys didn't hear me talking about when I was prepping for my jiu-jitsu tournament, I was at like around 189, 190, and I dropped a little bit of weight. But as all this was going, I was worried because I was I was like, dude, these guys that are that weight, they're like really big, and I'm a short guy, right? So there's gonna be power. I'm probably gonna go against people who are juicing for sure. I'm like, I gotta cut weight because I wanted to fight at like at least in the 180 round, and in jiu-jitsu tournaments, like every 5 pounds is a different weight class practically. But then I lost so much weight because of the stress that I hit like 162 in like, I went from like 189 to 162 in like I think 2 months. And I was like, shoot, like in order for me to fight at 170, I need to put the weight back on. And it was a struggle. I was able to hit 170.4. And then on the day of, I was like 169, 170, and they still let me fight at like the higher weight. But yeah, I was like, damn. And everybody was like kind of like my size. Some were a little taller, but yeah, I've lost so much weight, man. Yeah, I need to 210 because I didn't want to drop 5 pounds. Yeah, like, and I don't like dropping. I would rather increase weight, but I knew the like my instructor would tell me like what the guys do, and like and some tournaments we didn't know if this tournament was gonna have weigh-ins the day before or just on the day of, because on the day of then it's easier, like nobody's really cutting that much, but like everybody I knew was cutting weight, and I was like, oh shoot, so I'm gonna go against somebody who's naturally like 15 pounds heavier, and that could lead to injury, you know, and it's my first tournament. I'm not gonna risk that. But yeah, like it was so stressful. I try to put it into words how stressful it all was when I was going through it, but man, it was just something new every day, all the time. And I would show up, but maybe the store looked different, and I was just like, I don't know how the freak I survived it, honestly. When I look back on it, I'm like, yeah. If I played He-Man, I wouldn't be a little freaking fairy running around and like trying to talk to people about their conflict resolutions. I'd just be killing. But yeah, Monday crack house fight, so bogey with rain. But yeah, like I need to put on that weight again. And that's one of the things, like I don't know if I'll ever vlog because I've always thought that's obnoxious. If I had my own gym, or like a friend's gym or something, and it was like, if I knew everybody there, then I would like have somebody film my workouts and stuff like that. But yeah, I need to get big again. I need to get big. One of my goals is to do a Comic-Con where I actually could do the training of Darth Maul, like, you know, in the loincloth and everything, because I think it's sick. But yeah, like I'll show you guys a picture of the biggest I ever got. So let me see. This is the biggest I ever got right here. Y'all see that? And the guy next to me, he was pretty decent size, if I say so myself. Yeah, I'm gonna have to load these up on my other Instagram. But yeah, and I know some people ask like my background and like the jobs I've worked before in the past. So when I was 21, like I've worked various jobs. Okay, how much you weigh? Today I weigh around 159, 158. But I usually weigh I have a very comfortable weight at around 187. 187 at like a 13% body fat is one that I'm very, very comfortable with. I've never tried to maintain single digit body fat. Never have, but yeah, like I definitely need to try that out. But I want to be like at 7% body fat at around 165, because that's shredded, but that's a good size for my height. But so I've worked so many jobs, and sometimes I work 4 jobs at once. I think that's the most I've ever worked at once. It's 4 jobs at one time. So when I was 18, I installed pool covers and like worked in construction sites installing electricity through cement and all that. And then when I was something that helped a lot is when I served my church service mission in Boston. So I was assigned Mandarin speaking, so I taught in Mandarin. I also taught at a school. I taught math in Mandarin. My Mandarin freaking sucks now. It's terrible. So yeah, 我的中文不好. Just means my Mandarin's no good. And then I also, the first language I learned when I moved to the US was Spanish, because I didn't really like English. Like all my English speaking friends played video games and I didn't even know what that was, and everybody who was like outside playing soccer, basketball were always like Polynesians or Hispanics. And so Spanish was my second language and English was my third. And then also while I was in Boston for 6 months, I was speaking Haitian Creole, and I learned a good amount. Nothing to any fluent level, but I can make some jokes here and there. And then my wife is from South Korea, and I need to learn Korean. I've just been really lazy. I know some things, like I could pick up what some people are putting down, you know. And all of it actually really helped with owning the Bricks and Minifigs. So when I was 21, I worked at Rodizio Grill Brazilian Steakhouse when I was like 20 years old. GNC is a big part of the background of how I can really understood retail and owning Bricks and Minifigs. So I was a regular employee, and then I eventually was manager, and then I like helped fix up stores. I also, what's it called? I worked at a gym. I worked at smaller restaurants. I've driven for Lyft. One of my favorite jobs, I used to sell sports cars for a living, so Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and stuff when I was like 21. And that was like like working, and then I worked at other dealerships, and working at dealerships was like the first time I really saw like people doing dishonest stuff. And I was actually fired from one of the dealerships because I was one of the newer employees, and they wanted to use me as a scapegoat for somebody else's screw up. And I told them I don't sell my name. They were just like, well, you could take your name and get out of here. And then immediately got a job at a restaurant like that day, and got a job at the gym at 4 a.m. and then applied for a Lyft. And like I went from selling cars to Lyft, restaurant, and working at a gym all in the same day. I've worked like helping people fill out green card applications. I've taught people English. Like I've been around the block. I've done roofing, power washing, cleaning. Again, back in the restaurant business. You know, I'm just meat server, showing the meats. But yeah, so like all those jobs and having the father and uncles that I have, like really taught me like where I can take all that experience and where to go from there, and be a little bit more ambitious. So like YouTube, like trust me, like when the actual employee from my Bricks and Minifigs, we started it together. I was like, let's just do like something for the store and something for us, where it's like a podcast. And the last relic, the name came about from and if you go back to like my earliest live streams, first of all, you only hear audio on one side, so forgive that if you're gonna watch it. But it was at the store. We did it at the store. But the name I came up with, The Last Relic, because I was like, oh, good movies are like a relic, you know, like there's no more good movies. There's no more like having somebody with integrity is like finding a relic, you know, like that kind of stuff. That was like the idea behind it. And so we would do it at the store, and we would try to film also during work hours for the what's it called, for the store's YouTube channel. And that's how I got into YouTube. But the whole hiatus of like why I didn't post a long time was because of this whole shenanigans. But the experience I got for opening a store is the same experience that I'm using now for YouTube. And I'm just a person that, like, if I don't know how it works, I'm gonna surround myself with people who do know, and just ask as many stupid questions as I can, because I'm okay asking stupid questions. I'm not okay looking stupid forever, you know. I know I'm gonna look stupid for a time, but I'm not okay like just being stupid. So I'm going to try to figure out, and I know I come off very strong to some people, that I come off like I'm either a know-it-all, because I try to stay confident, but I'm also not shy when I ask a dumb question. You know, I just want to know. You know, I'd rather be informed. I'd rather know and look stupid for a moment than look stupid forever. You know? But yeah. Speaking of Star Wars, Maul Shadow Lord was a great series. It was okay. I was not a fan, but there was some okay stuff in there. So I have also been here one good thing that's come about it. I think some old customers have been seeing the videos in my what's it called, my podcast appearances, and they've asked me if I could open up a store again, whether it's like, it doesn't have to be all Lego, but like something where like they could take their kids. Because even though we catered more to the collectors, we always had stuff for kids. And man, like the best thing about owning any retail business that has to deal with nerd stuff is the customers by far. It is incredible. Like even if they were a weird, like really weird customer, it still was like a story to talk about with the employees. Like man, like, did you see that? that troglodyte that walked in here, that was crazy, you know. But they were always usually very nice. And then we did have some absolute lunatics, man. I think only once did an employee have to, right after work, use his gun, but allegedly. But yeah, like it was man, it was a whole lot of fun, and it was always great because it was like my one thing I loved about my store. It almost reminded me of like a comic book shops when I was a kid, where like there were people that would just hang out there, and then we'd all talk, like we'd make friends right then and there. Because nowadays it's like the reason I love YouTube is because there is no more. When I watch a movie, I can't talk to anybody about it. Like one of the reasons I wanted the podcast or wanted to start the channel is so that I could just either go on other people's channel or they come on mine. We talk about the movies. Like I don't care if they had 1 million followers or 1 follower. Like it was cool. Clocked a decline with the beginning of the Disney takeover. Yeah, kinda. I probably should have gone in about it. They exploded about 15 years ago and became investments. Yeah. Still talking about that stuff. But yeah, like so it's one of the reasons I'm gonna stay on YouTube forever. It's because I gotta make friends. Like Echo Base Network, like I feel like I connected with them like pretty quick. It was awesome. I had a ton of fun with them. Camelot, like, and again, I know from previous experience I shouldn't trust people so well, but I feel I'm a lot more confident in like reading people, like when I talk to them more, because I really try to like dig in, like really try to feel, like understand what I'm feeling when I'm talking to somebody. But yeah, but sometimes like I think maybe one of the reasons why I didn't catch on that Matt and Ammon were dirtbags was because I was like, it was like my first real opportunity to have my own business. And I did all the research. I did the due diligence. The franchise agreement looked all right and everything. And yeah, like, and I, like, there was things I failed at, but like I felt like I was pretty successful with the location, with the store. And there was definitely things I could have improved on, but I think maybe I was blinded by the opportunity. You know, and that happens, and I think that's why you have to have good people around. But yeah. But anyways, I'm probably gonna end it soon. I had fun with everybody. Well, where are we at? Like 3 hours and 30 minutes. Maybe I'll go another 30 minutes. Motives here are easier to understand. You aren't trading assets or money. Yeah. Disclosure day when that calm out bill. But yeah, what was I thinking about? Sorry, like, even though I just drank a Monster, my mind's going, because it's late. It's almost like 3 a.m. over here. And thanks for everybody that stuck around. Thanks for everybody coming in the chat. I will do more live streams. Like, again, tomorrow I will be on the Average Boys podcast. Their show, it'll be also on my channel and on their channel if you want to go on the Average Boys, with the Average Boys channel, and subscribe there and watch over there. I bet they appreciate the support. They also do live on Facebook as well. But I'll be on their podcast tomorrow, and I think I'll be on Echo Base's podcasts at some point again. They still have to let me know when they want me back. And again, I am going to keep talking about bricks and minifigs. I think it's important to keep it alive, but I also want you guys to know the kind of content I like to talk about and like get a little more feel, you know, because eventually this whole thing will be over. Eventually there will be a trial, there will be a verdict, there will be a winner and a loser, right? And you can still create content after that. Totally get it, but like I plan to also build Legos. Like what I want to do is like get another camera, build Lego. I want to like kind of work on my voices and doing different little like readings of books, because it's like YouTube's also an opportunity to do other things while also feeling more productive. Like I don't feel that good. Like maybe it's because I have kids, but I don't feel that good anymore playing video games on my own. Like I always feel like I could do something else, like read a book or study about something or work on my Korean. So then if I turn the camera on and I play some Halo, I feel pretty good about it because I get to talk about it. I get to talk about how the new Halo is going to be pretty gay, you know, and probably retarded. But yeah, so yeah, you'll get to see like a peek of how I like doing things at my house through YouTube. But I'll probably will not do either many or at all vlogs unless it has to do with cars, because that I'm all right with. Like I love going to car shows. On Wednesday nights we always do what we call the daily drive. We talk about like motivation, but we also talk about cars, right? Cars crashing, cars going up in price, all that stuff. But yeah, I don't read romance novels. I read Lord of the Rings and Heir to the Empire and Real Legends books. All right. My life is a romantic novel. It's like a K-drama. Have you heard of a Brazilian getting a Korean to marry them that didn't go to college? I didn't go to college. Well, fun fact, my mother-in-law said no the first time I asked if I could marry her daughter. She's like, no, too young, don't really have a direction. I'm like, I love her, so like I'm gonna stick around. So whenever you say yes, like, let's do it. And then she eventually said yes. But yeah, my dude, like the first time I met my wife, she made this seafood pancake she was cooking, and I'm like, damn, I gotta invest in this. You know, that was my first investment. And dude, she cooks so freaking well. Nochi official. Hey bro, what's good? What is good? Nochi official. I'm chilling with all of you guys. You know, Susie, a Heap Detectives. Maybe last theater I went to was The Mummy, like the real Mummy, like from 1999. But yeah, I just heard about the Rancho Obi-Wan story. Yeah, the 200 theft back in the day. Yeah, Echo Bay. That's Tony Della Monica 5887. What he's talking about there in the chat is Echo Base's Network last video. Phenomenal video, very simple. I think it's 13 minutes long. Take the time and watch it. That's why the Reckless Ben story is so important. It isn't just about what's Lego and all that. There's so much more to it. But yeah, okay guys, I think my voice is getting a little cracky. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go to watch there's a YouTuber called Derpy Entertainment. I've been on his channel before. We just talked about DC comics and stuff. I might go watch Supergirl with him. And again, tomorrow I'll be on the Average Boys podcast. You get a little closer look to something that's not related to Lego, okay, and how I like to talk. It's a fun time. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream right then and there. Sound like they got narcissistic personality disorder. Well, business, they aren't into business. They're into exploitation and manipulation. Yeah. But thanks for everybody for coming on. Again, you'll see more live streams. I'll at least do 2 live streams a week for sure. And we can just have fun. Talk about whatever. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for coming on The Last Relic. I will stay strong, brother. Good night, Animu. Peace out, Matty Appleseed. And again, shout out to Camelot for rating me. Thank you. That's my boy right there. I love that little homosexual man. He's a great guy. And shout out to Echo Base Network. Without them, you guys wouldn't even know. You guys wouldn't even know I existed. They're the real ones. They're the MVPs. MVP. Eric Eager, I will keep fighting. I'll keep fighting. I'll fight the good fight. I'll crush my enemies, see them driven before me, and hear the lamentations of their women. Alright, chat. Thank you, and thank you for indulging me in reading all your chats. Peace out, everyone. Good night. The great gay shall never be put to sleep, aka Kamala. Echo base.